Hello, everyone. How are you? Give me a five right now if you can hear me in the chat. Today, we are going to get really deep into why the scalp should never be greased. And I'm going to give you some scientific proof. So we're not going to hop right into this, but I want you to really get a good view of how deep we are going today. All right. I need you to see exactly how deep we are really going today. So make sure that you get your pen and your paper out and make sure that you are ready to learn today. We are free from all of the arguing, all of the debating today. We are going to get to some clear cut facts. I tell you guys all about skin cell turnover, but today I'm going to show it to you. And today I'm going to give you a visual representation of how greasing the scalp and clogging the pores and the follicles do end up hurting your hair shaft in the long run. Okay. The things that I talk about here on my channel are not a matter of opinion. And when you hear the intensity in my voice, it is because things that I say are coming from a place of intense study. All right. This has been the study of my life. And today I am going to break that study of my life down for you in detail. So, really quick in the comments, let me know where you are watching from. And also, really quick, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. When you give videos a thumbs up, it really helps to push my videos out into the algorithm. I know you guys see so much confusion online and things of that nature, and my purpose is not necessarily like, oh, I'm here on this earth so people can learn how to grow their hair. No, I'm here to take away the distraction because hair is a distraction. It's too big of a distraction for us. So if we can break down all of these things that we are going back and forth about, we can end it, right? So after today, no matter what blogs you're on, no matter what conversations you're having with family and things of that nature, when anybody wants to argue with you about if whether or not you need to grease or oil the scalp, you will be able to use this video as a reference to tell them, hey, y'all, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. Here are some facts. All right. That is what we're doing. So this post was made possible, or not, I shouldn't say made possible, but the main reason that this is the focus of today is for this comment right here. So I'm like, you know what? I can really put this together because I think that it has been a problem. She said, would love to see an in-depth explanation of sebum actually being a wax, not an oil, if you could. Thank you so much. I think that will clear up a lot of confusion. And then right after she said that, right, somebody said, do washing your hair every other day, dry out your scalp or your hair out. If not, how do you moisturize? And I think this comment right here, or not this comment, but this question is one that haunts us and that causes so much confusion. So I said, okay, I can answer all of these questions. So first, what we're going to do is watch this little video and I'm going to talk you through it. And then we are going to break down the things that you see. I'm going to give you the exact names and breakdowns of the sebum that is coming out of your scalp. But again, thank you so much for this question and this comment. You guys, whenever we are here on live or anytime you watch any of my videos, all right? Anytime you watch any of my videos, make sure you comment because when you comment, it makes it so that I'm able to really find out exactly what you guys need. All right, I'm gonna drink some water and we're gonna start it. All right. Give me, and let's be honest, give me a two really quick in the chat if you are a person who believes, that the scalp needs to be greased or that you have to put some type of oil on the scalp. Let's be honest. Let's get to it. Hey Trina Boo, let's get into it. Like, let's be honest. Give me a two. And let me first start by saying that even in cosmetology school, once I got my cosmetology license, I also thought that you had to grease the scalp. All right. I did too. So don't feel bad. I didn't learn that in cosmetology school. In cosmetology school, they teach you that too. It was not until I went to further my education that I learned what I am going to present to you today. Before we jump all the way in, those of you who are part of my 7-day challenge, make sure you check your emails Monday. Monday, I will be sending out a link, and only those involved in the 7-day challenge will be able to join. So let's hop into this video really quick. I'm gonna start it over from the beginning. As this video is on the screen, give me a 2 if you can still hear me. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, please give me a 2. I do not want to start this video if you cannot hear me once the video starts. So give me a 2, please, if you can hear me. Hey. So I'm not being rude, but to start off, anybody making comments like this, I'm going to delete your comments. I'm gonna put you in timeout today. This live is about never putting oils and butters on the scalp. Period. Any type of oil. I am a herbalist, and as an herbalist, I sell herbs. I make extracts, and none of them go on the scalp. Oils and butters do not go on the scalp. And that's what we're talking about today. And it's not something that is up for debate. So let's hop right into it. All right. So, what you are looking at right now, this very first video clip that you guys are going to see, is a video clip that is illustrating a product in the upper left hand corner. I'm not promoting this product, but they have a very, very good illustration of something that slows down sebum production. But I want you to see how sebum is made. Now, this little thing that looks like a little skin palette, a little bubble on the on the right hand side, I apologize, is what is called the sebaceous gland. This is the gland within your scalp or within your skin, all over your body, that produces oil. And what this first illustration is showing is a product that slows down sebum production. All right, it slows down sebum production. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But this is something that I just want you to visually see, so you can visually see the way that the sebaceous gland works. So as you can see, the sebaceous gland releases a waxy substance that is supposed to cover the scalp momentarily to protect it and then the hair shaft. But somebody who has an aggressive sebum production like myself, I use something, not what's on the screen, but what my additive is something like avocado oil. And see what the avocado oil does. The avocado oil, it does what you see, these little blue pellets that this is about to break down, right? These little blue pellets, is it kind of acts the same way that avocado oil does for my skin, but not avocado oil itself, the essence of avocados, right? So they don't take the actual avocado, press the oil out. No, a chemist knows how to break down the properties of a vegetable or whatever they're using and take only the properties that they need and push the other ones aside. But the properties that they take out of avocado oil does slow down sebum production. So what it does is it goes into the hair follicle, not avocado oil, because avocado oil itself cannot fit inside, right? And this goes in and it reacts with the sebaceous gland and it slows down the production of sebum within the hair follicle. Okay. So when I say, oh, you can put different products on the scalp, the only thing that I say that are recommended to put on the scalp are things recommended by a dermatologist. So a product like this that you're looking at is something that would be recommended by a dermatologist. I'm going to start this over. If you are a person who has something like, let's say, seborrheic dermatitis is an overproduction of sebum, right? So if you are overly producing sebum in the sebaceous gland, like this is demonstrating, dermatologists would recommend something to you, like this drug on the screen or anything like that. They would recommend something to you that you could put on the scalp topically. And what it does, it goes into the follicle and it slows down the sebum production by a certain chemical reaction with the inner parts of the sebaceous gland. All right. So that is what I really, really want y'all to understand. When I say you can't put, do not put oils or butters or anything on the scalp, some people will say, oh, well, your dermatologist gives you the things that your dermatologist gives you. And a oil or a grease and a butter are two completely different things because it is carrying this particle here that is causing this reaction that is going to slow down sebum production. But just the random oil that you're getting from the grocery store, just the random oil, no, you're not doing that because what ends up happening then is you end up causing a extremely toxic environment for the hair's follicle. Now, in the past, when we talked about rice water, people were all the rage because I was like, you are killing yourself slowly, killing your follicle slowly by doing that. And that is exactly what I meant. Because when you change the environment of the hair's follicle, what you end up doing is slowing down the hair growth cycle. Now, look at this. This is gross. Sorry, let me pause this for you guys. If you are eating something, pause this. Now, I want to show you something. In this clip, what you are seeing is somebody removing a plug, a sebum plug from the face, right? And let's hold the questions until the end of this video, y'all, and then I'm gonna get to all of your questions. What you're seeing next is a sebum plug. So this a lot of when you see stuff like this is sebum. Sebum is a waxy substance. So when it gets clogged, when you're thinking of like clogged follicles, clogged pores, whiteheads, blackheads, that's sebum. Look at the way that it looks. That is sebum being taken out. That little casting that you're seeing wrapped around that hair, just watch, it's going to spew out. That's a waxy substance. That is sebum spewing out of the follicle. Okay? Because you see that. Give me a 5 if you can see that. I know that's gross, right? But I really want you guys to understand what's happening because when you have excess sebum on the scalp or excess oils from you adding extra oils, somebody just said, so walnut oil and hemp seed oil. We're going to talk about that in a second. Detangling with oil and putting things on the scalp are completely different. So in this illustration, you can see the sebaceous gland in the skin. The sebaceous gland is automatically producing the sebum that you need. It's being released from the pore and it is a waxy substance. As you can see, it's wrapped around the hair shaft. But if you are constantly greasing the scalp, constantly oiling the scalp, you are clogging the pore and you're making it so that bacteria is accumulating in there because guess what? Bacteria and all of the toxins that are in the environment, their favorite food is oil. So when you leave it clogged up, right, you create a environment where bacteria can grow. This is why you feel burning and you have the redness and the soreness and the itching and the inflammation, right, that leads to seborrheic dermatitis and dandruff. This is why it is so important to shampoo your hair on a regular basis, and this is also why it is so important not to grease the scalp. Okay, you have the follicle, the hair shaft, and the sebaceous gland. This is what's going on. And within the sebaceous gland, your body is producing sebum. But not only is your body producing sebum, as the hair shaft is growing, the different layers of the cells on the hair shaft are dying off and falling off. That's the cuticle. So there are dead hair cells that are falling off, and sebum coming up, and acid, and bacteria, and sweat all coming up. So if you are greasing the scalp, okay, if you're greasing the scalp, if you're constantly putting oil there, all you're doing is blocking the follicle, right? And even if you do, some people say, oh, well, I use a non-comedogenic oil. It's not blocking the follicle. Okay, it's not blocking, but it's mixing with sweat, makeup, more of your natural oil. So you adding oils to your scalp, you adding grease to the scalp is only mixing in with everything that the body is releasing out. And all this does, it causes an overabundance of bacteria. This is why Black women are the leading causes of seborrheic dermatitis, CCCA, alopecia areata, telogen effluvium, and all of these different scalp disorders that all are directly linked to the follicle being blocked. I don't care what anybody says. Grease does not belong on the scalp. When you have bumps and things of that nature on the scalp, or just period, it comes from a blocked sebaceous gland. This is what the sebaceous gland looks like, and this is sebum. Sebum is not an oil. Sebum is a waxy substance, and we're going to talk about it in a second. It's a waxy substance. So give me a 5 if you remember me talking about skin cell turnover. Skin cell turnover. This is the natural bacteria that lives on everybody's scalp. But when you're adding extra oil, all you're doing is causing inflammation because the bacteria that lives on everybody's scalp, its favorite food is oil. So you're not helping by adding oil. All you're doing is causing even more inflammation. And after that, this is when your blackheads and your whiteheads form. And my loves, it happens on the skin and under the skin. The whiteheads that you see on the face, that's how it shows up on that first layer of skin on the face, but the same thing happens on the scalp. Skin cell turnover is something that happens every 28 days. Every 28 days, the skin cells on your scalp, they die, they fall off, and they make their way out. But guess what? You see all that dead skin. I want to rewind that because I want you to get that a good visual. All right. When you are constantly clogging the scalp, when you're constantly putting oils and butters on the scalp, the skin cell turnover cycle happens every 28 days. Every 28 days, the skin cells on your scalp, they die off and then they make their way off. And if you're washing your hair on a regular basis, combing your hair on a regular basis, they lift right off. No problem. But they do not if you're greasing the scalp. They do not if you're adding excess oil. If you're adding excess oil, you're rehydrating them. At every second of the day, there's sebum coming out of your scalp, and it is your job to cleanse your hair shaft. That's it. All you have to do is shampoo your hair. Shampooing the hair is the easiest way to remove bacteria. Nothing extra. The key is breaking up these dead skin cells, not allowing them to formulate on the hair shaft. But if you're greasing the scalp, these dead skin cells cannot lift up. They can't. Our only job is to keep the scalp clean, and the only thing that belongs on the scalp is shampoo. Unless, like displayed at the very beginning of this video, you are trying to cure some type of follicle infection or something like that. But you guys, you are supposed to remove things from the scalp. You are never supposed to be putting things on them. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people will want to argue about that, but I need you to look at this. Look at this really quick, right? And I want you to pay attention to this illustration. Look at the way that before, and as you notice what I'm talking about, if you do not agree or if you do not understand, do not let me keep talking. All right. As you are listening to the sound of my voice, I need you to let me know when you see this. Sebum is not a oil like almond oil. It is a waxy substance. I'm going to give you the scientific name in a second. But do you see the way that before your hair peeks out of your hair is follow, before it peeks out of the skin, before your hair ever comes out of the skin, right? It is covered in sebum before it comes out. So you don't have to wait for sebum to drip on your hair. Look at it. It's covered in it. All you have to do is comb your hair to help drag it out. And see, when you go to a dermatologist, sometimes when if you have an overproduction of oil and they don't necessarily know why, they're going to try out a lot of different things. Some of the different things that a dermatologist will recommend to you, if they don't know that the only problem that you're having is from excess oils and butters that you're putting on the scalp, right? If they don't know that this is the reason that you're doing this, they may prescribe something to you that just causes your sebaceous gland to shrink altogether. So that way you just won't produce as much oil because they don't know what to do. They don't understand what's going on in the first place. So these are things that I want all of us to really, really think about. All right. If you have any questions, now is the time for you to go ahead and ask. I will play the video again later on if you guys did want to see it, but we did tangle with oil and then wash it. It doesn't stay on the scalp. And this is the thing, when you're detangling, right? When you're detangling your hair, a knot is not on your scalp. So this goes into us overusing products, right? This goes into us overusing products because if we have so much product on our hair that is getting on our scalp, you're using too much. You should never have so much product on your hair that is on your scalp and you don't want it to be. You're using too much. And I'm not, this is not to attack anybody. That's not what this video is for, because I'm not giving opinions. We're giving facts. Like there's nothing, what is there what is there to talk about, you guys, as it pertains to that? So what we have to do, we have to make sure that we are just doing the simple thing. My love, y'all, use shampoo. No, do not use Dead Sea mud to cleanse. Dead Sea mud was used in the past by ancient civilizations, right? And they did not have the ability to purify themselves like you did. And not to mention, you have nowhere near as much dirt and filth on your body as the people in the ancient civilizations did. You do not live outside. You do not live in no hut. You have running water. You do not hunt your own animals. You do not make your own clothes. You do not grow your own food. You do not have enough bacteria on your scalp to need to use Dead Sea mud. Dead Sea mud can suck a bacteria like it can suck the type of bacteria that causes disease out of one's body. On your scalp, you need a healthy balance of good and bad bacteria. So by you putting Dead Sea mud on your hair, herbs don't work like that. Herbs is not like, oh, she's only using this for her hair, so we're only gonna kill the bad guys and we're gonna kill the perfect amount. No, that's what product lines do. All product lines are not bad. When somebody starts a product line, there's somebody who says, okay, I see I see Dead Sea mud, and I see that Dead Sea mud is a great thing that you can use, but it's too harsh for the human hair shaft. So I'm gonna get a chemist, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, chemist, can you take out? I want to use Dead Sea mud as a hair product, and I need all of the only the good properties of the Dead Sea mud, but the cons of it are this." So can you remove all of the cons and leave me with the pros? This is how you shop for shampoos and conditioners. So no, do not go get like pure Dead Sea mud and put it in your hair. Go find a company that you trust that has already taken the bad parts of Dead Sea mud out and put the good ones back. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna hop right into the rest of this, and then because most of the questions that you guys are asking are going to be answered in the very next week. If the seborrheic dermatitis is not taken care of, it turns into scar and alopecia. Yes, it does. And the more you put oil on seborrheic dermatitis, the faster it turns into alopecia. How do we detox the scalp? I'm gonna get to that in 2 seconds. When I use Shine Jam on the roots of my hair, not the scalp. Listen to me. Do you really think that the jam isn't getting on your scalp by when you put it on your roots? When you put it on your roots and then you lay down in the bed, or when you put it in your roots and then you put another braid on top of it, it is going directly into your follicle. I will be 34 in on July 20th. Okay. I have been using jam since I was in middle school. It is not a new product, and we stopped using it a long time ago. It is scented petroleum. There is no good way around using jam. Jam is the fastest way to seborrheic dermatitis. Okay. All right. So I'm not after this. I'm not being rude, but any question that's like, what about this oil? What about this butter? Every oil, every butter, every grease, anything that you put on the scalp is going to cause this goes for everything. Everything. Nothing belongs on the scalp unless it is shampoo or unless it is prescribed by a dermatologist for a short period of time to kill an infection. There is nothing else to talk about. I'm not being rude, but let's keep moving. All right. What if we have dry tangle roots from transitioning? Okay, so I am going to answer this question, and I really want everybody to take a really deep breath because I don't want anybody to be in their feelings. The only way that your hair is getting tangled is if your bonds are not set in a pattern. Everybody does not just get tangled hair walking around. So, the question that I have for you before I answer your question is, from wash day to wash day, how are you wearing your hair? That is my question. How do you wear your hair from the one day that you wash your hair to the next day that it's time to wash your hair? Okay, you're welcome. So I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Okay. I really want us to get in a place where we can have these conversations, right? Free of judgment, free of offense, right? Nobody is getting in their feelings, nobody is getting offended. I have this blog post linked in the description box below. And as soon as it's done, I want you guys to head over there and not only read it, but watch all of the videos that I have linked in this blog post that go a little bit deeper into it. Because folliculitis is a hair follicle disorder that is directly related to grease in the scalp. And there are so many women who have folliculitis and don't even know it. Like a lot of women that experience like burning and tingling and soreness in the scalp and don't even really know it. All right. So I already gave you guys a visual representation, right? But the sebaceous gland is a type of oil gland in the skin that produces an oily substance called sebum. Now, for whatever reason, even every book that I've been taught in, it always says oily substance. Well, we reading it, but then when you go down into it, it's actually a waxy substance, right? Now, it contains so many powerful substances, right? So for everybody who is like, what about almond oil? What about this oil? There is not one oil on this planet that does for your hair shaft what sebum does. So let's break down all of the properties of sebum because this is a thing that people are so worried about because I'm going to teach you guys by the end of this exactly how to detox the follicle. It's extremely simple. There are not any crazy YouTube hack steps. It's very simple, okay? But shampooing your hair is something that you're supposed to do to remove excess sebum. At every second of every day, there is more sebum coming out. The second, right now, at this very second, there is sebum on top of your hair, on your scalp, blocking new sebum that wants to come out. As soon as you wash sebum off, more sebum comes out. Okay. So let's break down the components of sebum. Give me a 2 if you are still with me. I don't want to lose anybody. Give me a 2 if you are still with me. I'm going to get to everybody's questions in a second. Should I do two strand twist my hair dry? Y'all, I'm sorry, I cannot talk about two strand twists today. I love you all, but I can't. Okay. Okay, we can go to two. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Oh Lord, it just be though it be making my eyebrows itch. Okay, triglycerides. Triglycerides are a type of fat composed of three fatty acid molecules attached to an aerosol molecule. Okay, in sebum, triglyceride provides a source of energy and contribute to the lipid barrier that helps prevent excessive water loss from the skin. And it's not just the skin, it's the hair shaft. So you know how on social media and everywhere you look now, it's like, oh, moisture, you need moisture, you need moisture. There is not a product on the market that can help you with moisture better than the natural sebum that is coming from the follicle. And see, it's a play on words because what they don't tell you is the products are not putting moisture in your hair. They're balancing your body, they're balancing the hair shaft so the hair shaft can get the moisture like it's supposed to from the scalp. Products are not actually putting moisture in the hair. It's setting and balancing the pH levels so the natural moisture that's coming from the follicle can moisturize the hair like it's meant to. A chemist is not dumb. A chemist knows that your hair can only absorb moisture from the environment and from the body. So it creates an environment for the body or for your hair shaft to receive and hold on the moisture that it's receiving from your hair shaft, I mean your follicle, the sebum, and from the inside. Because that's why your hair shaft cannot be locked down with products because your hair gets moisture from the environment. That's why everybody is going around in so many circles trying to try all of these different products because it never works. As soon as you get done using the product, you still have dry hair. It didn't fix anything. It just put a band-aid on it because your hair only absorbs moisture from the environment and from what you put inside of your body. Okay. And from the sebum that is coming from the scalp. That is what gives you the slip that you need. The next thing is free fatty acids. Free fatty acids are individual acid molecules that are released when triglycerides break down. So the triglycerides and the fatty acids work together, and this all is happening within the sebum that is coming out of your hair follicle. They have antimicrobial properties that contribute to the skin's defense against harmful microorganisms. So, the reason that so many women have follicle and scalp disorders, I'm going to go back in a second and show you guys that illustration. But in that illustration, I showed you, give me a two right now, if you remember. I showed you in that illustration how bacteria is accumulating. You know why bacteria is accumulating? Because you're blocking the follicle with the oils and the butters that you're putting on there. So the sebum's antimicrobial benefits that come out to protect your scalp against the free radicals that cause seborrheic dermatitis, that cause folliculitis, and that cause all of these different bacterial scalp infections. Your body cannot fight off diseases. Your body cannot fight off microorganisms or bacteria infections because you keep grease in the scalp. And guess what? Think about this. Your sebum, the sebum has antimicrobial properties, right? So it starves the bacteria that lives on our scalp. The sebum starves it, it kills it, it shrinks it. But guess what oil does? Oil feeds it, it strengthens it, it powers it up, it attaches it to the charger. So anyone who tells you that you need to oil your scalp, I'm sorry, my love, there's somebody who does not have the proper education on the human scalp. Because all you're doing by oiling the scalp, even if you're using a non-comedogenic oil, comedogenic, the word comedogenic means to block the pores or the follicles. So a comedogenic oil is coconut oil. A non-comedogenic oil is almond oil. So you will go, oh, I can use hemp seed oil on my scalp or walnut oil on my scalp because it's a non-comedogenic oil. You are wrong. because your follicle is fighting off bacteria. So you are working against your body for the opposite team. You're supposed to be in co-creation, making things easier for your body to fight. When you add oil to your scalp, you are adding an additional enemy for your body to fight against. You are no help. You're a hindrance to your body when you add oil. And I'm sorry, whoever feels how you can feel how you want to feel, it's a fact. And if you disagree, please pull out a fact and show me. Number two, wax esters. Listen, wax esters are esters formed by the combination of fatty acids and a fatty alcohol. This is something that naturally happens in the body. This is not something that you are putting in your hair from an outside source. Your body is a city. Your body was made by a masterful creator. Everything that we're talking about right now happens in your body as you sleep without any help from you. Now, there's not a product on the market that can do what your body can do naturally. And sebum wax esters play a role in creating a protective barrier on the skin surface, helping to prevent dehydration. Do you understand? The lock method that y'all talking about works against you. Because if you wash your hair and then immediately put an oil, a liquid, and a cream on your hair, the sebum never touches your scalp to induce any of the antimicrobial properties. It can't do anything. Your hair is covered in oil, it is covered in grease. And the grease and the oil that you're putting on your scalp, that hot six oil, I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who is disagreeing with me is literally saying that some human being made another product in a bottle that is more powerful than what God put on your in your body, how God made your body to work naturally. And I'm sorry if somebody think that way, that's a clown. And if you listening to that, what does that make you? The next thing within sebum is squalene. This is a natural organic compound and a precursor to steroids. In sebum, squalene helps to lubricate the skin and hair, providing a protective and moisturizing layer. Do you hear me? Next, cholesterol. Now, we talked about this, the cholesterol shampoo and conditioner. The reason that cholesterol was removed from the market and the reason that they made cholesterol in the first place, cholesterol is derived from its main ingredient comes from sheep wool ester. Okay? It comes from sheep's wool. They take sheep's wool and they put it in a machine. They take all of the impurities out and they press all of the oil out of sheep's wool, and then it's like this thick, pasty like thing that they use, and then they add a couple other additives to it, and that is the cholesterol conditioner. They didn't go and use that because, oh, this is so healthy. No, they were looking for something to mimic the cholesterol that naturally lives within your hair's natural sebum. Do you hear me? Listen to me. Stop running up behind these hair products. Stop running up behind these people who do not know what they're talking about when it comes to the hair shaft. Give me a 5 if you still with me. Give me a 5 if you can still hear me. That is what cholesterol it was derived from. They didn't, oh, this is such a great product. No. Scientists and chemists were in the lab. They said, oh, sheep's wool, if we do this, this somewhat mimics what sebum does naturally. This is sheep's wool sebum. We can get sebum from an animal source. So cholesterol is a animal source of the natural sebum that is coming from your scalp. But guess what? If you just comb your hair, if you just have a style that allows the sebum to flow naturally, and when I'm saying comb your hair every day, y'all, if you have braids, obviously you're not combing your hair every day, but if you have braids, whatever style you have, you want to make sure that it is a style that allows sebum to flow down the hair shaft naturally, right? And you want to comb it. When I say slow down, I mean it's like, okay, downward direction, but sebum is not going to move down your scalp without any effort from you. It will not. Now, if your hair is in braids, right, it's still not gonna move all the way from your root all the way to your ends. No, it is not. It'll travel probably halfway down, then it'll get stuck, and then that's why you can only leave braids in for so long, because after a while the follicle in the scalp gets inflamed, because it is a waxy substance that has to be moved, because if it is not moved, it accumulates. All right. And sebum cholesterol contributes to the stability of lipids, of the lipid barrier, and helps maintain the integrity of the hair and skin. So these are things that I really want y'all to think about. Like, it's not as easy as everybody thinks that it is. So speeding up sebum production, increased sebum production, it really, really sometimes is the thing that signals your inflammation. Now, stress is going to increase your sebum production. Whenever you are stressed in any type of way, what ends up happening is your body ends up releasing the hormone cortisol, and cortisol will help you out. Like, all right, we don't know what's going on. Stuff getting hot and heavy. Let's go ahead, give us some more oil. Give them some more oil. Help them slick through. You can't slick a can of oil. That's what your body think. Your body think it need a little bit of help. It don't know that you're causing the stress, right? So there are a lot of different things that lead to it. That's why I want you guys to head over to this blog post so you can break all of those things down. Now, having these things slow down will cause your hair growth cycle to slow down. This is why the 7-day hair growth challenge is so freaking amazing for you and all of my clients, because everybody who takes my 7-day challenge, they automatically are able to visually see sebum come out of their scalp there, or even if they're not, I don't mean like see it, like they can see it oozing out, but I'm saying like they can touch it and see it. They can see the difference. Dry scalp is not a thing that people in my 7-day challenge are talking about. It's just not a thing. All right. So let's go into some of the different properties of peppermint, spearmint, and gunpowder green tea, because this is my Zen gunpowder green tea blend. And this one here is a freaking powerhouse. If you're a person who has imbalanced sebum production, if you are a person who deals with maybe something like IBS, where you are like dealing with too much stress, your body's releasing too much cortisol, you want it to slow down, this is a freaking amazing blend. Do not take my word for it. Make sure you head over to my website, check out some of my reviews on this blend. I think this blend has the most reviews. All right. So it has anti-inflammatory properties. The peppermint contains menthol, which has anti-inflammatory properties. And this can potentially soothe inflammation on the scalp, because I need you guys to remember, like we talked about before, you have an overall trigger, which we talked about. Then you have the inflammation, and then you have the disorder. So we already talked about the trigger and then tackling the inflammation. And now you get rid of whatever that disorder is. All right. The cooling sensation, the menthol and peppermint provides a cooling sensation that will help to alleviate discomfort associated with inflammation. Antimicrobial effects. The peppermint has antimicrobial properties that will be beneficial for maintaining a healthy scalp environment. All right. The spearmint is amazing because it has anti-androgenic effects. Now, this is freaking amazing. When it comes to the spearmint, this blend is masterful for this spearmint, because the spearmint has so many properties. Remember what we talked about with DHT. Remember what we talked about earlier with the seborrheic dermatitis, all of that. All right. Because spearmint has been found to have anti-androgenic effects, which may be relevant in conditions like different things that causes you to have excess sebum production, things that throw off your natural skin cell turnover cycle, and all of that. It just really helps to balance those hormones. from all of those different things, right? Now, studies have shown that spearmint tea may help to balance hormones, potentially influencing conditions that are related to hair growth regulation and sebum production, because your sebum production and your hair growth cycle are going to be directly related to the changes in your hormones, right? Because remember, any type of stress, whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, things, something that you went through, if you had stress, something with your job, anything, those things trigger stress. Stress triggers the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle. And the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle is the phase of the hair growth cycle where your hair is not growing, it's not falling out, it's not doing anything, it's just dormant. So that's something that you should really be cautious of, right? And gunpowder green tea is amazing. Gunpowder green tea, like if you look at that picture, if you like try to take a screenshot and get a close up of it, green tea, the gunpowder green tea, I'm sorry, for them to ship it, like it was really expensive. So they would take the leaves, and the leaves are a lot longer than regular tea leaves, and they roll them into little balls. So the gunpowder green tea, like it's a lot more tea in there than it really looks like because there's so many little balls, but they're rolled up into these itty bitty ones, right? But it is great because it has these amazing antioxidant properties, right? And it is rich in so many different things that are going to have different effects on the body to curb oxidative stress. And oxidative stress are going to be the thing that directly leads to different forms of inflammation. Oxidative stress is when you have free radicals, which are basically like bacteria that's just running around the scalp. It doesn't have, or the body doesn't have anywhere to go. It's running around unchecked, right? And just causing havoc. That's what ends up causing diseases and it will cause this inflammation. So it makes sure that all of those are gone. And now DHT inhibitors. Now this is a powerhouse. When we are dealing with balding and things like seborrheic dermatitis and seborrheic dermatitis, somebody said before, it ends up leading to different things like androgenetic alopecia and things of that nature. Well, that is because everybody has testosterone, male and female, but at one point of our life, that testosterone converts to something called DHT. DHT ends up going in, attacking the hair follicle and making the hair follicle detach itself from the blood supply. And then after that, you end up having bald spots and different things of that nature. So, by having something that ends up inhibiting testosterone, inhibiting that transition from testosterone to DHT, what ends up happening, that hair loss is going to in return slow down. Like that hair loss won't happen because that testosterone won't be converted into DHT, so there'll be nothing to attack the hair follicle. So that's something that you should really notice. I know that when the very first time that I ever had that happen, where I could like literally feel my hair follicle burning, like it was being attacked, anytime I drink this tea, especially if I brew it for at least like 30 minutes, not boil it for 30 minutes, but let it brew for 30 minutes, it's almost like it's, and don't take my word for it, look at some of my reviews. This is a really, really good tea to have in your repertoire. Okay. So I really, really want you guys to think about that. Okay. There are so many different things that product buildup can do. There's so many different things that product buildup can do to the hair follicle, but I'm gonna get into some of your questions really quick, and then you guys let me know right now, as I'm about to go back and read some of your questions, and whether or not you want to go into this before you leave. Do you guys want me to break down exactly how product buildup on the scalp can impact sebum production? If you want me to break it down, I will. Let me know. Say break it down, Sin, or say I'll read it myself. Let me know. All right. I'm about to drink some water, girl. I was always under there. Question that if I use a non-clogging carrier oil along with tea tree or essential bacterial oil that was helping to keep my scalp healthy, they lied. They did not know what they were talking about. Did you see the illustration? I will play it again for you because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to visually see it. A oil being comedogenic or non-comedogenic only has to do with if whether or not the oil is going to block the follicle or not. That's it. But there's another property. The second property is the bacteria that lives in your scalp's favorite food is oil. Its favorite food is oil. So all you're doing by oiling the scalp is feeding the bacteria that lives in your scalp its favorite food, even with the carrier oil, because I want you to understand its favorite food is the oil, but then you're adding an essential oil. All you're doing is literally adding something for the oil to fight against. You're just adding more things for your body to fight against. That's not how you keep your scalp healthy. No, you keep your scalp healthy by keeping things off of it. That's not it. It's not. The more you clog the pore, the more you clog the follicle, the more inflammation you have. That's it. That's all. If you add oil, the more things you add to the scalp, the more things you add to the scalp, the more inflamed the scalp is. Like at every point in time, you have dead hair cells, which are different parts of the cuticle that didn't make it to stay on, and all of the other things that are in the follicle that are trying to come out. All you do by adding oil inside of your hair shaft is creating a bigger clog and feeding the bacteria. When you add oil to the scalp, you add bacteria's favorite food. So they be like, come on, Craig. Come on, Mimi. Come on, Joe. She got that good shit. Come on, Mimi. She got that good. Yeah, she got that hip oil. You know we like that hip oil. She got that almond oil, Joe. Hey, Rocco. She got that walnut today. She got that almond. You know you love that almond. You're not helping anything. You're clogging it, and then it just keeps growing and swelling and swelling and swelling. And I need y'all to remember, this is something that can take anywhere between 6 months and 25 years to show up. This is not something that happens instantly. I don't care what anybody says. Oiling, adding oil to the scalp, adding oil to the follicle does the same thing that add oil to your skin does. This is how this look, pay attention. This is what's happening under the skin when you get pimples and stuff, right? This is what the pimple looks like. The seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, folliculitis is all that, but underneath. It's underneath the skin in the sebaceous gland. There is all, look at this. I'm about to rewind it. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to the way that the sebum is creeping up the hair shaft. Look at that. It's creeping up the hair shaft. All you putting oil on your scalp is gonna do is slow that process down. Let's look at it again. You putting oil within your hair follicle is only gonna slow that down. You're not help. What are you helping? I'm not being rude. I need somebody to explain to me what putting oil in the hair follicle is going to do to help that process. Again, what is putting oil on the scalp going to do to help this sebum come up the hair? Like, make it make sense. And if you can't make it make sense, you shouldn't do it. This is what's supposed to be happening. The sebum that's coming up is supposed to be clearing up things, but your pores are going to be clogged. And that bacteria, you see that yellow stuff that's right there? Hold on, let me rewind that. The yellow spores that you are about to see is the bacteria that creates folliculitis. All right. Guess what its favorite food is? Oil. So if you're putting oil on the scalp, all you're doing is feeding that bacteria its favorite food. And you like, yes, girl. It's girl. It's make about hair, girl. It's make about hair, girl. and you talking, and the bacteria like, Craig, she got that good shit, Craig. Come over here, she got all that oil, Craig. And then your inflammation just keeps growing because you're feeding the bacteria and they multiplying, they having kids, they having family reunions at your scalp. And that's why you have all of the different bacteria infections within the scalp. It happens on the face, but it also happens within the follicle as well. I'm sorry, you guys, but there's in no way, shape, or form where putting oil and grease on the scalp helps. In no way, shape, or form. And I mean, if anybody disagrees, please enter the floor and give me some facts because I would love to hear it. Oh my God, I would love to hear it and research. And I would come on here like, girl, I was wrong. And Shalissa was right. But so far, I haven't seen anything of the latter, guys. So I really need y'all to let's end it all. So sebum can never reach your ends. Who said that? Who said that? Comb it. All you have to do is comb your hair. And I love y'all, but this is the point where not you, but this is the point where it becomes annoying. There is no trick. Literally, all you have to do is comb your hair. Do y'all understand? The way that I'm explaining this to y'all is the same thing for everybody else. All you have to do is comb your hair to get it down the hair shaft. If your hair is out, comb your hair to get the sebum to your ends. That is it. All you need is a comb or a brush. I swear to God, that's the only way. Like, is there's no complicated trick. There's no like extra thing that you have to do. Just comb your hair and keep your scalp clean. There's nothing else to do. Gunpowder is the truth. Yes. Because I know that's one of your favorite blends you got from me, boo, ain't it? Isn't it? Is this a topical blend? What is the difference? No, it's a tea. Oh, y'all want to break it down? Oh, y'all say break it down. Shut your ass up, see it. And break it down. Oh, you drinking chicory root? Do you drink it straight or are you drinking it with creamer? Okay. I listen to other YouTubers when they said to only comb your hair once a week. Now I feel foolish. You better stop. Listen to me. Stop listening to them. You brush your teeth every day. Why are you washing? Why are you combing your hair once a day? You brush your teeth every day. You comb, like, what are you doing? You brush your teeth every day. You wash your butt every day. Think about it. Your hair just be sitting on top of your head. Like, ain't this some shit? You looking in the mirror like, girl, yeah. Not to mention, don't wear wigs too. You putting on wigs every day. Your hair be sitting on your head like, ain't this some shit? Like, she just gonna be combing and pressing and curling and all types of stuff. And she just gonna spray me with a damn water bottle. They don't know what they're talking about. Stop listening to people that just turned on the camera. I don't give y'all my opinions. I open up every video with facts that you can go search for yourself. Oh, it's gonna be on the way, boo. So should we braid our hair with extensions? If you want to, you don't have to. Why what does that have to do? Just adding something else for the scalp to do, causing more inflammation. Exactly. Lord, I will never oil my scalp again. Please don't. And this is the thing. No one who tells you to oil your scalp can give you a scientific reason for why the oil in the bottle or the petroleum is better than the sebum from your scalp. And so anybody who like my grandma, listen to how idiotic this sounds. Blue Magic is petroleum with color in it, in a scent. Petroleum is made of fossil fuel. The same fossil fuel that they make your gas, the gas that you pump in your car with. It's like this, it's a bunch of decomposed, everything that dies that goes all the way to the bottom of the ocean, it turns into this thick black tar. They put a machine that goes all the way to the bottom of the ocean, where not the bottom, but wherever the tar is. And then they suck it out with this big machine. And then it goes from a machine, like it goes out. through the machine into another big one. They heat it up and then different temperatures. At one temperature, it's gasoline, the gasoline that you put in your car. At one temperature, it's the mineral oil that y'all putting in your hair. At another temperature, it's the petroleum that you putting in your hair. So think about how insane you sound saying that the petroleum blue magic that your grandma been using is better than the sebum that comes out of your scalp. I don't care how you feel emotionally. That is insanity. If you think that the fossil fuel at the bottom of the sea is better than what God put in your body to grow, to coat your hair shaft, then my golly, you are in the wrong place anyway. Okay? Does combing our hair bring down enough sebum to prevent? Yeah, y'all, just try it. Try it and do it. Try it and do it. We have tightly colored hair. When you think about it, why would you not comb it regularly to prevent tangles and single strand knots? Because I was doing hair before the Team Natural community started. The Team Natural community started to get okay. Before I say this, can everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice drop your age, please? Please. I'm 33. I will be 34 July 20th. I was born July 20th, 1990. Before I say this, can everybody please drop their age? Please. Especially people who ask the questions. Please. And then tell me how old you were 12, 13 years ago. Tell me how old you were 13 years ago. I'm not being rude. Tell me how old you were 13 years ago. Tell me how old you were 13 years ago. Please. I was 20. I was 20 years old 13 years ago. How old were you 13 years ago? Okay, 24, 39. Okay, 29. Okay. So everybody that is under 34, hmm, 35. Everybody under 35, all you know about hair is Team Natural. Okay? That's all you know. Because that's all that's been circulating. No, since hair care was like the essence of hair care, it hasn't really been put on YouTube. Most professional cosmetologists who do what I do aren't on YouTube. They don't have time. So most of y'all have not learned or heard anything from anything like 16. If you were 16, so that means your whole adult life has been Team Natural. Your whole adult life, your whole adult life has been Team Natural. Ever since you've been doing hair, ever since you've been doing your own hair, ever since you've been doing your own hair, 13. Listen, 13. Listen. If you at a certain age, you guys, some of y'all only ever knew Team Natural stuff since y'all came in. Nobody knows anything different than that. There was never anything else presented. Since y'all came into the game, everything's been pile products on your hair, cut your hair wet, point cutting, curly cut, curly Q. So all of your adult life has been Black women finding a divinity through the way that they wear their hair. And this is the thing. I'm sorry, and I'm probably gonna go too deep here. I'm gonna get back into the stuff to break it down, but let me get this out. Can I get this out? Give me a 3 if I can get it out. I'm sorry if this rubs anybody the wrong way. If the shoe does not fit and you do not feel this way, do not put this shoe on. But I feel like Black women have gotten so used to being the oddball out that they look for the oppression. Like we are so free that we choose chains. Like it's like, okay, Black women are the freaking standard of beauty, but then even though we all get free, the Team Natural community, the way that it started at first was freaking beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like, okay, you got a group of women who like to, as a cosmetologist, I already knew coming into the game, right? You kind of have to pick a lane because it's too much to try to do everything. When I first started doing hair, I was like, I'm about to do everything. I'm about to do braids. I'm about to do twisties. I'm about to do shortcuts, right? I'm about to do box braids. I'm doing weaves. I'm doing everything. But then as time went on and I saw how chaotic it made my schedule and all of that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick a lane and stay in it. So I chose natural hair, like that hair that's growing out of your scalp. Like natural hair for me doesn't mean what it means to other people. Natural hair means like without weaves, without stuff like that. Not saying I don't do weaves, but that was my main focus. Like if we did do extensions, it would be a part of their hair growth journey, a part of their hair growth calendar that I made for my client for that year, because me and my clients, they would do styles quarterly. They would have quarterly styles, right? So I have never been the type of cosmetologist that is just like, oh, let's just play in hair. Let's just do all of these crazy things. No. And for me, the thing is, it made it so Black women had an excuse not to do their hair. Do not get mad at me when I say this, but my perspective is not coming from the perspective of a YouTuber that makes videos. Everybody's experience is going to be different. If you're listening to the sound of my voice and you never stood behind a chair before, you won't really understand where I'm coming from. You may let your emotion take over and you may be in your feelings like, oh, Sin is trying to attack us, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Put yourself in my shoes. Like initially, all I want to do is like help my clients grow their hair out, but I'm getting women that come and book me. I have 10 women on my books for a day. I know that every client is going to take me an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes. I would give myself at least 15 minutes to like sit down and wind down. But I was constantly getting women that were coming in with either nasty weaves in that needed to be taken down. That it takes, sometimes it takes longer to take the weave down than it does to flat iron your hair. Or they would come in and the very first time they've washed their hair in 6 or 7 months is when I did it. And this is why I say the things that I'm saying, because it's not coming from a place of like, oh, y'all nasty, y'all rude. I lived this. I remember my mom and my mom, me and my husband had to go to see the dermatologist because I ended up getting a freaking bacteria infection in my under my nail, because right after I had a client who had a weave in her head for 6 months, and then after that I made a rule that if your weave has been in your head for longer than 3 months, that I wasn't taking it down. And I still got it to freaking prove it. It's somewhere in my box. It was the same exact type of bacteria that lives in the scalp. And it was living under my, I had a bacteria infection under my nail. I had to take off of work for like a whole week, cancel all of my appointments, move them back. So I'm not on here like attacking people. We need to have accountability. It is pure laziness. I'm sorry. And the thing is, it's not like, oh, like I'm just acting all funny and things of that nature. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. We have to get to a place where we are able to be accountable, where we are able to look at our patterns and look at our routines and say, okay, this is how I got here. And because this is how I got here, if I change these things, I can get to a different place. And that's it, and that's all. But when we are constantly like trying to help each other, like and our feelings, and oh, she's rude and she's mean, it's like, let's get it together. Like, let's be real. Let's keep it 100. Like, let's keep it real, for real. And it's we need to find our pride in something else. And to me, that's where things went left, because there are a group of Black women who find their pride in the fact that they have curly hair. Like, that's their, like, my hair is curly. Whoa, I'm a Black woman. Look at my curls. It's like, I feel like some Black women walk around looking for oppression. Some people walk around looking for problems. Like, you're looking for somebody to be mad and upset and angry. Where in reality, it's just like, okay, I'm not really used to seeing that. That's not really cute. It's not. Even if you kind of think it's cute, like, it's not cute. So those are things that I really want us to like think about. And to me, the reason that Team Natural went left is because by you saying, "Oh, I got natural hair. I woke up like this. Why do I have to, like, when I see videos of girls like, I'm a Black woman. Why do I have to feel like I have to straighten my hair?" Do y'all understand that most women that are not Black do not, the majority of the people on the planet do not have straight hair. The majority of people on the planet have wavy and curly hair. Black people just have the curliest hair. So just like locks, right? Because you don't have to straighten your hair with a flat iron if you don't want to. There are a lot of different things you can do. But this is why people with locks grow hair. Why? Because sebum has more than enough time to flow down. And people who have locks, go over time, the longer their locks get, they start to thin out. Their follicles start to get weaker. It gets too heavy, and then they start getting balding in some spots. But that's a whole nother video. So those are things that I want y'all to think about. We're gonna go over here for a second, and we are gonna break down. All right, sugars. Can you hear me? Give me a 4 if you can still hear me good. And I'm gonna get back to your comments in a minute. This isn't gonna be long and drawn out because it's not that complicated. I feel like on social media, but when we get done, y'all please go watch this video. Go watch this. My eyeballs. I'm reading from the screen, but mostly it's just like cues, so I won't be rambling. There's so much information in my head, and we could be on here all day. Okay, so let's talk about how product buildup on the scalp can impact sebum production in so many ways. All right, obstruction of hair follicles, buildup formation, an accumulation of styling products, conditioners, and other substances can create a layer on the scalp. Now, if you haven't watched the last live on polymers, then I'm going to leave the link to it in the description box below. But in my last live, we went over polymers. This is why in my lives, y'all need to be having y'all notebooks out so y'all can pay attention, because I'm not about to go all the way into polymers again. But give me a 5 if you like, yeah, I remember polymers, girl. This is what we were talking about. So polymers are what all styling products are. Polymers are meant to put on a barrier, a protective barrier, a barrier that helps to like style without snagging and causing mechanical damage and ripping and tearing. But all of the products that y'all use are polymers, and y'all have been directed by people who don't know any better to put these polymers on the scalp. Every time I see one of these YouTubers telling y'all to pack products on the scalp, it drives me absolutely insane, because y'all just rubbing polymers into the scalp, and give it 3-4 months, you'll have a scalp infection 100%. Okay. Next up is follicle obstruction. Now, this buildup can potentially clog the hair follicles, hindering the natural flow of sebum from the sebaceous gland to the surface of the skin and the hair. Okay. Whenever I say surface of the skin, I'm talking about the hair. Understand your follicle is holding your hair. The hair that you can visually see is only able to be seen by you because it is anchored within your follicle. Before your hair comes up through the follicle, it is covered in sebum, and all you have to do is comb it to move it down. Give me a two if you remember in science class when we were little. My both of my kids are in the sixth grade, right? Both of them. They've learned that oils and water do not mix a very long time ago. A very long time ago. So I need you to understand how you having your hair covered in an oil and a liquid and a cream and all of these different things. This is why your hair is dry all the time. This is why your scalp feels dry all the time. You have polymers on the scalp that are blocking the hair follicle. And you have layers and layers and layers of products on top of the scalp that is keeping the sebum from coating the hair shaft. All right. Next up is going to be the altered microbial environment. Now, when you are packing products on the scalp, I'm sorry, like I don't care what anyone says. Every product that you have right now, and you don't have to take my word for it, get it. Turn it around. Look at the ingredients. Every product that you use it right now has an oil in it. Every last one. Every last one. Most of them probably mineral oil. But every last product that you have that you're putting in your hair has oil in it. And the bacteria on your scalp's favorite food is oil. The more products you put in your hair, the more food you are giving. And I know you think that you're helping your hair. I know you think I'm giving my scalp food. You sure are. You sure are, but what exactly is your intention? What are you trying to feed? Because the only thing that you're feeding by oiling your scalp is the bacteria that lives in the scalp that causes follicle infections. Okay? So that is something that you really, really need to think about. Because when you feed that bacteria, you create more of it. You make it stronger. It starts to reproduce itself. The bacteria that is folliculitis, please go watch that video. This blog post is going to be linked in the description box, and that blog post is listed. I mean, that video is in there, and I break down folliculitis. I give you the exact name of the bacteria that you feed whenever you oil your scalp. I give you the exact name of it, and I show you a picture of what the bacteria looks like under an electron microscope. Every time you oil your scalp, every time you butter your scalp, you feed the bacteria that lives on your scalp and you cause it to reproduce at a higher rate. The bacteria that lives on your scalp is a colonizing bacteria. Give me a 5 if you know what colonizing means. Colonizing means they break off and they go to different follicles. They in one spot and then they morph off into different areas of the scalp. It may start off as one spot and then they colonize other parts of the follicle because you have 100,000 follicles, but they are all independent. That's why you don't go bald all at one time. It happens sporadic because all of the follicles are independent. And when you put oil in the scalp, you multiply that colonizing bacteria to spread across your scalp. That oil is a carrier. Listen to me. The oil that you put on your scalp is a carrier for bacteria. So, yeah, oil will carry an essential oil, but it also carries the colonizing bacteria that is living on your scalp. Do you hear me? But they don't know this. So all they're gonna say is put this on your scalp because it carries bacteria. No, because it carries no. You are not killing anything. You are multiplying it. This is why no matter what product you buy, nothing's working. That's why it's not working. Because you are causing more of a problem as you're trying to fix the problem to begin with. That is why it is not working. I really hope that that makes sense. All right. Inflammation. An imbalanced microbial environment may trigger inflammation, and inflammation it can in return affect your sebum production. So, by you having all of this bacteria on the scalp that you are feeding with oil, you increase the amount of bacteria. And once you increase the amount of bacteria, you increase the inflammation. And the more inflammation you have, the more likely you are to have something like seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, folliculitis, CCCA, alopecia areata, and all of these different follicle disorders. It all comes from inflammation. There's first a trigger, which is you oiling and greasing your scalp. And then there's inflammation, which is the seborrheic dermatitis, the folliculitis, the dandruff. And then there is the cure that you have to have. And guess what? Oil ain't it. Hmm. And a lot of times when y'all say, oh, it's an oil that they have me putting on my scalp, a lot of times it's not even an oil, it's glycerin. A lot of times it's not even oil, it just looks like an oily substance, but it's not oil. It's a difference. All right. Next up is skin irritation. Irritation, impact, inflammation can disrupt the normal functioning of the sebaceous gland, potentially leading to either an increase or a decrease in sebum production, depending on the individual response. So, there are a lot of different forms of inflammation. Some forms of inflammation speed up sebum production, and some forms of inflammation slow down sebum production. This is why I get so irritated when I see people like, all you got to do is put this oil on the scalp. You don't know what's happening. You can have a form of inflammation that's slowing down sebum production, or you can have a form of inflammation that's speeding it up. And the oil helps neither one of those things. You need to first figure out what the issue is being caused by, and then you could tackle the issue all together. Okay, this is why I really want you guys to pay attention. And then the hair follicle health. Weakened hair follicles. This prolonged exposure to product buildup can weaken the hair follicle, affecting its ability to support healthy hair growth. So, if you are a person who wears braids and then your braider A puts on edge control in between every braid, if you put jam on your hair, understand if you put jam on your hair, you are putting it on your scalp. There is no invisible man or invisible woman holding up her arms like, she only put you on the hair. Don't you come over here when she lay down? No. When y'all get done putting jam in your hair, if you lay on a white pillowcase, that jam is going to be on your pillow. Why do you think it's not going to be on your scalp? There's no small lay. Did y'all watch what was it, Gen X or Gen Z with what was her name? Cricket. Cricket is not in your head. Don't get on her scalp. She only put you on the hair. That's not happening, y'all. If you put it on your hair, it is on your scalp. Point blank, period. That's why I say don't use grease, period. But do what you want to do. Okay. Next up, sebum distribution disruption. This is number one. The health of the hair follicles is interconnected with sebum production, and any disruption in the follicle health can influence sebum production. So if you are constantly clogging the scalp with grease and butters and oils, and if you're constantly changing the pH balance, just because it is a non-comedogenic oil does not mean that it goes in the follicle. It is still going to clog it. I'm going to show the illustration again in a second. Just because it is not comedogenic does not mean that it is not going to cause an overgrowth of bacteria within the hair's follicle. It just means it won't block it. It doesn't mean that it belongs there. Oil does not go on the scalp or in the follicle, and I don't care who says anything different about it. And if they say something different, ask them to tell you what about the oil or the butter that they're telling you to put on your scalp is better or greater than the natural sebum that God made to go down your scalp. Explain that to me. And then I also need for everybody to explain to me why Black women are taking so much pride in being the only women that don't want to use combs and brushes. Why are we finding our strength in not using combs and brushes? Why? Sebum quality, the quality of sebum. The composition and quality of sebum may be affected by the presence of certain chemicals from hair care products. I need y'all to understand when they say this free, sulfate free, this free. Whenever they say something free, they have to make up something else to replace it with. And most of the time, the thing that they replace the thing that they took out is worse than the thing that they took out. That's why you see most cosmetologists stick to their same stuff, even when new stuff comes out, because when you look deeper into it, the things that they put in to replace the things that are so bad are worse than the things that they replace. It just like what you call that stuff, the burgers, the veggie burgers, Beyond Meat, Beyond Beef, or something, or whatever. Like the meat replacements, when you look at them, are worse than actual meat. It's not better just because, oh, we're no longer doing this, so it's better. No, stop getting played. Lastly, balancing. Sebum serves to moisturize and protect the scalp. Disruption is a disruption in its composition can impact the effectiveness on maintaining a healthy scalp environment. So you adding oils and butters to the scalp is not helping. You do not need a moisturizer. Watch this video whenever you guys get done here, and then watch this video so you can understand oil content versus water content. Like, I break everything down because it is so, I know it's confusing because it if I've been struggling with something for years, right? If I've been struggling with something for years and then somebody comes up with the easy solution that I can do in 5 minutes and all I got to do is mix this stuff, I'm gonna be like, oh, yes, girl, but it's bullshit. Because guess what? If something works, are you making up new stuff every day? No, no. That's why today I'm just going live because I don't want to pump out no bullshit. Like when you do this for a living, I have to you gotta make 3, 4 videos a day sometimes. I mean a week sometimes. And if you've never been to school for hair, if you never have any formal education on hair, you making up shit. What you gotta make it up. You ain't never been to school. You gotta make it up. You ain't been studying this shit all your life. You gotta get up in the morning, look online, look at what's trending, and then make videos based on that. I don't do that, period. I don't need to. I've been studying the human body since I graduated. I've never done anything else. I went from high school, I went to Tallahassee, Florida for a minute, thought I was going to be a psychiatrist. I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. All I wanted to do was hair. It was a lady that did hair on campus. She was like, she was asking me how I felt about school. I was like, just making it through. She asked me why I didn't like it. I told her it's not what I really wanted to do. She asked me what I really wanted to do. I said hair. And she was like, well, why don't you do it? And I didn't want to look at the girl who was doing my hair and tell her that it's because my parents told me or somebody told me it's because hairstylist was broke and only made 30,000 a year. Then she closed her door and then pulled out her bank account, and I called my daddy and I told my daddy that I didn't want to be in school no more. My daddy bought me a ticket, and then I was in cosmetology school less than 2 weeks later, and I never looked back. And I haven't done anything else since then. So you go and you ask the people who making up shit and telling you what to do. You go and you ask them how long they've been studying here. I'll be 34 and I've never done anything else. Even since I've stepped from behind the chair, I'm still in the hair industry, but now I'm a scientist. Like I spend my money on my education for myself so I can really add value to people. I'm telling you what I know. I am telling you what I know. Now, you can take it or leave it. I'm not telling you that you got to take what I know as fact. Do what you want to do. Listen, you want to keep playing in rice nipple juice? You want to keep playing in apple cider vinegar? You want to walk around smelling like pickles? Go ahead. Y'all want to keep being played by all of these brands? Go ahead. Go ahead. Let them parade y'all around. As a black woman, when are y'all gonna be tired? When are y'all gonna get tired? It's been like, I want to say it's like 4 or 5 different lawyers that have made millions of dollars over these of just this year alone, of different of suing and different stuff like that, suing and stuff like that when it comes to relaxers. And these people, these lawyers, they made millions of dollars. Meanwhile, the black women that was trading on their own people getting $20, $30 checks, and y'all walking around looking stupid as hell while they walking around with fat checks, and they got it by getting you to trade on your own people. It's crazy. Hold on, I need some checks. Hold on, player. Hold on, player. Love you, Sam, but why you quit? I don't really know if y'all really want to hear this reason. Give me a 2 if y'all really want the real reason and you're not gonna get offended. Because I really don't want to argue. And we already been on here for an hour and a half. I'm pretty cool with us just chilling and vibing, but not if my energy start going down. So if anybody here is gonna be easily offended, then I just won't say it because I am not, I'm in a really chill mood. So I'm not in that. Hi guys, sit down here coming at you with another video. Like, I'm not in that mood. I'm just showing everybody that everybody want to know why I stopped doing hair. So I'm not just complaining. I'm not complaining. They asked, y'all asked. Okay. So I started doing hair at the age of, like, well, I just explained it to you. I just explained the process and how I started doing hair. So for that reason, like, I've never wanted to do anything else. And how I envision me doing hair is the way that, not necessarily the way that I'm talking to you right now, but like when my clients come in, it's not just like, oh, sit down and I'm a servant. And it's like, this is what I book, do exactly this. I don't care about the science of hair and I don't care about all of that. I just want that. I just want this style. Like, that's not how I thought it would be. In my mind, I pictured getting into the hair industry and it being like a real life hair doctor, right? Like how you go to a dermatologist and you trust your dermatologist and everything that they say, and you go listen to them and do what they say and things of that nature. I thought it would be like that. And I'm gonna say probably about the first year it was. The first 2 years it was. And then after the first 2 years of me doing hair is when Team Natural started. Now, I stayed in the hair industry for over a decade, well over a decade, over 10 years. But towards the end, it just started getting really bad. Like, as it pertains to Team Natural and stuff, like, it would be to the point where I would have clients like, okay, if I have 13 clients in a day, half of them are my regular clients, so I didn't have a problem with them. They all listened to me, they all trusted me. But the other half were all new people. And it seemed like my regulars only came earlier in the day, and then the end of the day was all of the new people. So I found myself in complete and total fucking freaking chaos at work because instead of me doing what I do now and teaching women stuff now, they like, oh, well, for example, there were a couple of cosmetologists that I started doing hair with that quit long before I did. One lost half of her clients when edge control came out. She refused to use edge control on any of her clients, and all her clients started leaving because she refused to use edge control on her hair. Stuff like that. So cosmetologists like myself have been like, no, don't do this, no, don't co-wash, no, apple cider vinegar. Like some people come on my channel and be like, oh, why she talk about rice water all the time? It literally triggers me because imagine doing 13 people in one day. And I know I should have, but I didn't really work with an assistant. I work better by myself. It's just, I don't know. So just imagine like doing 13 people a day and having your shop smelling like ass. Like I'm talking about I always worked at studio salons. So like either studio salons or Phoenix. So it's one private room and I will always have a larger single and my client would be in there by herself, but y'all would come in with like caps on y'all head and y'all had apple cider vinegar that y'all had slept in overnight or I would most of my clients it went from like I'm not even growing hair anymore. I'm the fix it girl. And I hated it. Like I got to 100K from videos being the fix it girl. And it's like that's how most of y'all see me. That's how most of y'all found my channel because like people would come in, their hair would be all beautiful and curly and long. They do flat twists and two strand twists all the time. That's all the only way they wear their hair is in two strand twists. And then they would sit in my chair, I would blow dry their hair out, and then they would cry every single time. I was so tired. And it went on for like years. Like just imagine it was like, oh my God. And then whatever. If y'all offended by this, whatever. Then the hair industry kind of turned into this place where it was like I had to step outside of myself to go to a level not I don't necessarily want to say a level higher, but I don't know what other word to use, but to go to a different level of the hair industry or the next step in the hair industry for me with like Brownell's Brothers, it was certain Instagrammers. I'm not gonna say anybody name. If y'all want to mention them in the comments, you can. But it was a lot of boys in the hair industry that would now be identified as transgender. And it was like it went from being about hair care and hairstyling to being about like competing with a bunch of transgender women. I'm trying to be politically correct. That's how you would identify them now. So I don't want to identify them the way that we were identifying them when it initially started. But it literally turned into me as a woman competing with a bunch of transgender women in hair. Like it didn't have anything to do with hair anymore. It was like, girl, like, are you popping or are you like? I'm not talking about Saucy Santana isn't one of those people, but it was like that energy. It was like the hair industry was full of a bunch of hair versions of Saucy Santana, and I had to like show between them like, oh, I do it better than them. Look at my marketing, look at my branding, look at my labels, look at my following. It completely it didn't have any the hair industry had nothing to do with hair. Like nobody cared anything about hair care. It was all about who I'm going to, who got the most followers, who got the most views. Oh, I go to this person, or I go to this person, like, or I'm wearing weaves, I'm wearing frontals, and I'm doing this. And it was it was insanity. And I literally had to ask myself, I'm like, what do I want? Like I was miserable. I hated my job. I hated it. The last 5 years doing hair, I hated it. I spent like the women, that's why sometimes like that's why I made moderators. So I asked moderators, can y'all just get the arguing ones out? Because women would book me and be like, can you leave a little bit of the conditioner in? Because this YouTuber said you're supposed to leave some of the conditioner in. And then I would be like, no, you're not supposed to leave conditioner in because, and then explain, oh, well, can you not use regular shampoo? Can you just use co-washing conditioner on my hair before my silk press? Because shampoo strip your hair. That shit. Like, I was like, I am done with this. And it may sound like I was being extra, but This is not something that went on for a month. This isn't something that went on for 2 months. This was over 10 years of it. And after 10 years, it was getting worse. It wasn't getting better because brands started seeing, like, wait a minute, I'm making more money with YouTubers than I am for professional cosmetologists because products have been out, but they can't make the type of money with a professional cosmetologist promoting it as they can with a YouTuber promoting it. You know why? A professional cosmetologist is going to tell you don't buy that much. A professional cosmetologist is going to tell you that bottle of shampoo and conditioner should last you about 2-3 months. But how are they gonna make? Just ask yourself this question. You got one person, you got two people. You're the brand. You're the brand. You got to make money. You got two advertisers. You got one advertiser that's only gonna bring people to your website to buy something for you once every 3 months, once every 2 to 3 months, right? And then you got the second advertiser. The second advertiser gonna make sure people on your page buying stuff once a week, once every 2 weeks. Who are you going to choose? Person A, who's going to say every 3 months, go buy it, or person B, who's saying buy it every week, buy it every other week, buy the big bottle. Which one are you going to go with? It is not a rhetorical question. And that is what happened to the hair industry. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Who are you going with? Advertiser A or advertiser B? Who are you going with? You're going to go with advertiser B. These brands have been going with advertiser B. And y'all have been following advertiser B. And as y'all follow advertiser B, advertiser A has been saying, no, don't listen to them. But then advertiser B got to keep that money coming. So they're going to say, don't listen to advertiser A. Advertiser A is just jealous. Don't tell me y'all haven't heard it. It's all over social media. Hairstylists, cosmetologists are just jealous. They're just jealous because now we can do our own hair ourselves. It doesn't look like you could, guys. It doesn't look like you could. I'm just being real. So I was done. Like I couldn't. I was not about to. I had already been to cosmetology school. I had already been to cosmetology school. I wasn't about to keep proving myself to these women. Like I wasn't doing. I would have women book silk presses with me and want me to grease their scalp. And it was like I said, I had a bunch of great clients. But if I'm doing 13 people a day, 13 people, that was like a Wednesday or a Thursday, like midweek. Saturdays, I was out of there early. I wasn't in there that long. But on a longer day, my newer clients, I mean my long-term clients are coming earlier in the day or on Saturdays. Saturdays was for my regular clients. I didn't take new clients on Saturdays. Saturdays was for my new clients. Later in the day and during the week was all new people. And all new people were infested with the YouTube mentality. I caught a live even though I'm a hourly. It's okay. We vibing today. Please do my hair, girl. Girl, I am done. Give me a two if y'all want me to tell y'all what happened. Because what happened is, you only give me a two if you want me to tell you the actual story. I said, because I really do love doing hair. I really do. And I told myself, I said, okay, I'm gonna see if I can go. I'll go back part time, not even for the money, but because I love doing freaking hair. It's like painting. Like how an artist who paints feels. That's how I feel about hair. It's art for me. I love it. Sometimes I be scratching, but I got a daughter, so I'll be okay. But when I went back, After 5 years being gone, what happened? I said, listen, I'm not doing it. And on top of that, when I really felt strongly, God, like, no, see, you're not supposed to do hair again. No, it's over. And I was like, okay, God, listen, I'm gonna go. I know you said I'm not supposed to do hair no more, and that phase of my life is over. But what if I do it like this? I have this lady, this woman, I love her. And like right now, today, at this very second, if I call her and say, hey, can I have the studio tomorrow? I got some clients. She's gonna be like, oh my God, yes, son, like come through. Oh my God, yeah. So it's not a problem. But anyway, so I was like, okay, I was like, all right, guys, I'm looking at it like this, I'm gonna do it like this. If anything go wrong, then that just means I'm not supposed to do it. And then I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna say okay, and I'm not gonna bring it up again. And then me and God, we ain't shake on it, but we kind of, you know what I mean? And then it happened. So once I went to do hair and this happened, I was like, okay, God, I hear you. Okay, I'm not doing hair anymore. So I can't. I literally cannot do hair anymore. I'm sorry. Because people don't want to pay for what they need. No, it ain't got nothing to do with the money, actually. It has now. That is not a problem that I have. Getting paid my worth is not a problem that I have. That is not an issue that I have ever had. Ever. And nobody was, it was, I'm sure most of y'all have heard the story, but don't say what, I missed it. Girl, YouTube killed the real passion for cosmetologists. Genuinely love the art. Yes, it did. Like when I tell y'all my room, like I remember this one time, one of my stylist friends came in and was like, "Sam, what is that smell? Oh my God." And my client was in the chair, and I was like, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had rice water in my hair," and she was like, "Oh my bad, I'm sorry." Yes, a popularity contest. I'm not competing with biological men, and I'm not doing it. I'm not. I don't care who feels away. And this is before all of the stuff that's going on now. This is 6, 7 years ago. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I got my uterus cut open twice. I do hair. Am not putting on makeup and wigs and competing with biological men for competition so women can want to book appointments with me. I am not doing it. And if that's what I have to do hair, then oh well. And that's why that's one of the main reasons that I didn't, because I didn't leave the industry. I just stopped doing hair like tangibly in from that state. The ladies on YouTube use the shampoo and conditioner, have the conditioner on bottle, wash the hair because it naturally needs moisture to have it. Listen, start asking people to match the words that they say with facts. And if you don't see that, then keep moving. But no, don't be sorry. Listen, don't be sorry. Like I know this, I'm trying to miss words because I don't want to say, I don't want to be like, stop messing with y'all was the best thing that ever happened in my life. I was so sick of y'all dusty asses. I didn't know what to do. I don't want it to come off like that, but I've never been happier. Like you don't know how much weight you have on you until it's lifted. Like I haven't been this happy like ever. Like I've been doing hair my entire adult life. I've never my entire adult life. And it sounds appeasing, like I thought so too. I was like, I can't wait till I'm booked up for 6 months in advance. Being booked up for 6 months in advance is not a good thing. It sounds like a good thing, but it's not. When you young and you don't know no better. I didn't understand that before you allow people to book you up for 6 months, you should book out some vacation. Because don't get sick. Don't have the bubble gut. Don't have a baby. I remember I had a baby. Y'all know how many most of my negative Yelp reviews came from when my water broke with my son. I was due April 26th. My water broke January 2nd, and I had to cancel everybody's appointment. And girl, you would have thought I broke into people's house and smacked their mama. No, I'm sorry, girl. I can't even do it, girl. I love you, girl, but I can't even do it, girl. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and then I'm gonna tell you why. Okay? Because I don't want you to think I'm being mad. Like, no, girl, you on your own, girl. You on your own, girl. Consultation, I can't. I'm about to tell you why. Listen, because I love you, but literally this exact thing right here, like our conversation where you was like, girl, consultation. The exactly how you talking to me is exactly how I walked into the bullshit that I'm about to tell you about right now, girl. Listen to me. Hey. And I, girl, I'm ooh, look at you in your dress, girl. You is sexy, girl. And I'm sure you ain't even gonna be a problem. But I don't know, and I do not have the patience that I used to have. So let me tell you what had happened. So I'm minding my business, right? Minding my business. And my OGs that was here, y'all already know this story. Once y'all recognize the story, just start putting, just say, oh shit, something, put an emoji. Put a bomb emoji. Yeah, put the bomb emoji. Something. Something to implement a crazy person. So, Lord. So I did the pop-up, sent out the emails to everybody. People paid their deposit. So one of the ladies that paid the deposit, she didn't pay her deposit until like 6 o'clock in the morning, right? But I sent it out that previous day. But she paid hers at 6 o'clock in the morning. So me and my mom sometimes will get up like super duper early at like 5-ish, 6-ish to go grocery shopping before everybody gets out. Cause I'm a loner and I don't really like humans that much, like in strange humans that I don't know. Anyway, so me and my mom go grocery shopping, and by the time we get back, because I go to like 3, 4 different stores, by the time I get back, it's about 9 o'clock. I look at my phone, and the first thing I saw on my phone was that she had paid the deposit. So I'm like, okay, cool. As soon as somebody can pay a deposit, it's just one button. Like I clicked the button, confirmed her deposit, and then I put my phone down, went back outside, started getting the groceries out the car, put everything up, blah, blah, blah. So I go sit down in my backyard to do a little, don't worry about it, I do in the backyard. But I'm in a really good mood. In a really good mood. And I see these text messages that's like, oh, you a fraud. Oh, scam dial. Oh, seeing scam dial. Oh, you a fraud. So you just gonna take money like multiple emails. I'm like, what in the hell is going on with the church's money? Not to mention, y'all, at this point, I have not booked no appointments. I have not had any clients. I have not done anything with hair with customers outside of like selling ebooks and stuff. I have not done hair in 5 years. This is my very first time doing hair again in 5 years. Okay. So she's sending these messages. She calling me out like all types of stuff. Like, oh, you crazy. Oh, that's dusty as hell. You like all types of shit. So first of all, listen, I don't do all that Peter Patter stuff. I'm from the D. We don't, if we talking, hands are getting thrown. I don't do that. So before I could even, I didn't even respond to her. Before I responded, I refunded her back her deposit, canceled the appointment. Then I sent her a message and said, basically, your energy, I'm not bringing that energy in. I haven't done hair in 5 years. Your energy is nasty. This was unnecessary. I'm good. Go ahead on about your business. Right? So from this point on, everything that happens after this is my fault because I should have stopped it here. Y'all not ready. You're not ready. If you remember this story, say I remember real quick in the comments. I haven't seen the comments yet. So I want to say everybody else that day was freaking amazing. So I know people are gonna say one bad apple is for the month. Yes, it will. Yes, yes. If you go buy a big bag of potatoes, you go buy you a big ass bag of potatoes. Yeah. You got 4, 5 rotten potatoes in that big old bag. You may have 40 potatoes in that bag. But you got 4, 5 rotten potatoes in there. You don't get them 4 or 5 rotten potatoes out of there, you're gonna have a whole bag of rotten ass, funky ass potatoes. So don't tell me don't let one bad apple spoil no bunch. Okay, so let's keep going. So I did my other 3 clients. They were freak. Oh my god, they were amazing. What 2 of them were new, 3 of them were new, and 2 of them were my regulars, right? Lord, Lord. The last one, I had never met her before. So what happened was, remember I said we left off with me telling her that I'm not doing her hair. So her response to me was, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But this time she's writing me from a completely different email. Sends me a picture of her daughter. I swear to God on my father's ashes, I'm not lying. I will go get my mama right now. Actually, give me a 5 if y'all want me to go get my mom, because I will go get her. I will go get her. So she came in there. Actually, I'm about to text my mom and ask her to come in right now. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I just tell my mom to come here. So I'm sitting there and no. So she says, oh well, my daughter has special needs. Like she's rude sometimes. Sometimes she's rude to people, and she doesn't know how to control herself. I'm so sorry. Blah 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 blah. So she sends me a picture of her daughter, and they can't see you, ma. They can't see me. My mama like, look, my mama like, look at that shit. So she was like, I just need you to come in. Don't say nothing until I point to you, mom. My mama is a child, y'all. The new people that are here, y'all have not met my mama yet. Haters, because I deal with the haters. Mom, okay, mom. My mom just said if you in her age group, if they what age, mom? I'm a fabulous 59. No, I'm saying what age are they that they can't talk crap to me without you intervening? Over 50. Okay, my mom said if you over 50, she go handle it, but it's nothing to handle, mom. Okay, so I'm coming. Mom, this is why mom because I'm sore from exercise. Okay, mom. Okay. So we sitting there or whatever. No, so before we get there, she sends me the picture of her daughter, tells me her daughter has special needs. Mom, I told you. Oh my God. Mom, I told you not to say. This is why my mama don't. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, oh my God, y'all. I just told my mama to come. Oh my God. Okay, so she said her daughter had special needs and her daughter was rude. She was like but she blamed her daughter. She was like, my daughter is super rude and I'm sorry, blah, 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 but I'm gonna handle her. Can you make sure that everything's okay? Blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, and I felt bad because she sent me the picture of her daughter, and my father worked in mental health. So I was like, okay, I understand that. So anyway, I'm doing my other client. She walks in. So when the mom and the daughter walk in, I look at the daughter. The daughter. So we are not talking bad about the daughter or nothing, but we're very animated, and my mother is childish. So it's gonna sound. I'm just mom. Oh my God. So the girl was about 32 or 33, but she had the mind of a young child, and her mother blamed everything that she said to me on her daughter. But when her daughter was there, her daughter was so sweet, but her mother didn't tell me anything. She just said, oh, she got special needs. So I'm thinking she like my Uncle Greg. My Uncle Greg had special needs, right? But my Uncle Greg was a butthole. He used to chase us around with turds, kick your ass. My Uncle Greg was an asshole. So I thought it was like that. Anyway, so she walks in there, and when she lays back at the shampoo bowl for me to wash her hair, I pick up the sprayer, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all you hear is, Okay.
Hey, I'm scared too. What wrong with you? And the mama just standing there looking. I'm like, what's the why? She was like, okay, it's okay.
No, she wasn't okay. She was like, stop, put that down.
Oh yeah.
She was like, no, stop, put that down. Stop, no. So I was like, okay. So the daughter actually wasn't a problem. Like once we could, but we just didn't know. Like she didn't tell me anything. It literally wasn't until she put her head back. Then I had to. Me and my mom was talking to her like, cause she was like, oh, I got my coloring book, cause she had her coloring book and crayons when she came in. So a 32-year-old woman who still uses a coloring book and crayons are not calling me out of my name and cussing at me via email. Like that was her mother. So she was when she was screaming and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I was like, your mama not gonna take you to Target to get your chips.
No, yeah, we was talking about
We were talking about because she was calling it Target. She was like, I'm gonna go to before she sat down, she was talking about how she can't wait to get her hair done because she want to go to Target or whatever afterwards. And mom started calling it Target because she was screaming and crying. Mom was like, okay, like if your mama not gonna take you to Target, if you not, she was like, I want to go to Target. I want barbecue chips. And I got in front of her. I was like, girl, no, what you need to get is some of those honey barbecue chips. So we got past that. But then as I'm sitting doing her hair, her mama talking, telling her whole life story, then she wanna go back and forth about whether or not she needed to relax her for stuff. It was just complete and total chaos. I gave y'all the short version. That's all I want to mind. Okay. Oh my god, mom. So like it was my mom. They're all saying bye, mom. Oh my god, they're all saying bye, mom. Oh, so Lord, y'all. So mom, get out. Lord. So it was like even after that, like her mom was so negative and nasty. It was just it was too much. It was too much. And it wasn't until after she left. I mean, no, when she was there, I put it together and I asked her, I was like, was your daughter the one who emailed me? Or was it you? And she's like, oh, can you just like text me later about it? And so when I got home, I texted her and I let her know, like, we not gonna be doing this. We're not moving forward in it. And then she sent me all these messages. I have a previous video where I let y'all see it before, where she was sending me messages telling me that everything that I've ever created and all my businesses are gonna fail and all of my business are gonna crumble. And she called me Lucifer and called me a demon from hell and all of that. So y'all, I love y'all so much, but I have so much peace not dealing with that. I have no desire to go back to it. And I love y'all. I wish y'all the best. That's why I come on here and I kick it with y'all. We've been talking for 2 hours. That's why I come on here and I kick it with y'all so y'all can figure stuff out and I can help y'all in this way. But I am not accessible like that anymore. Like I cannot give myself out like that anymore. It is too freaking much. Like imagine going 5 years not doing hair, not touching nobody or nothing, and then walking into that. I am okay. I am sorry. No, because even though y'all be like, oh, one bad apple, yes, for me, bad apple spoils the bunch. Yes, like one bad apple spoils the bunch for me. And right now, I don't know another way that I don't know how to filter women out. I really don't know how to do it. If there was, I'm just being transparent. If there was a way that I could filter people out, then I would. But the lady that I'm talking about, that all of that, she had a consultation first. We talked first. And she's old enough. She's my mother's age, by the way. So do a followers tour. I can't do it, y'all. I love y'all so much. I've been doing hair since I was 19. I'm okay. I can't do it. I love y'all though. It's just a consultation. Now you can book a one-on-one consultation. That's different. I do one-on-one virtual consultations, but okay, for example, I do one-on-one virtual consultations where people pay in full for the hour before we meet and people still send me up. So if I put on clothes and leave my house, oh my God, it gets stood up. I just can't. Mentally, right now, I just can't. I'm just being honest. Like I mentally, place that I am right now, I can't. And then moreover, and I hope some of y'all gonna get offended. And I'm not saying y'all can afford me like y'all broke or something. That's not what I'm saying. But my prices are not gonna be anywhere near what y'all are paying in the hair salon right now because I'm nothing like them. Like it's a whole nother. So it won't like if you think $150 is expensive, you don't want to come see me. So this is why I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, and I could be wrong. Give me your honest opinion, even though I know y'all gonna be like, you're wrong. I know everybody's gonna say I'm wrong. But the way I look at it, honestly, is like in sports, right? Like when it's like at football and basketball, you got like the ones coming right out, like the rookies coming straight out of college, coming straight out of high school. Well, no, coming straight out of college. They young, they in the industry, and then by the time you hit like your mid to late 30s, you start like maneuvering on to different things. That's how I feel with the hair industry. And I feel like the 19, 20, 22, 23, like let the young girls do it. Like they have the time and the patience. I no longer have the patience that I used to have. Like before, I used to have the patience to go back and forth and all of that. I don't have the patience for it, and I don't feel like that is something that is good for me as a professional cosmetologist. I no longer have the patience that is required of me to do hair and stand behind a chair. So I'm not blaming other people. I'm saying that at the place that I am at in my life, I'm not at a place where I want to prove who I am and prove what I do and prove what I know to anybody. Like, and I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm not one of those people. You know how, oh, 5 minute grace period. I don't even want you to be later than those 5 minutes. I'm going to be there an hour before you get there. So 30 minutes before you get there, I'm going to be sitting there on my phone waiting for you. So if you're a person who's like, I can be late, a 15 minutes, oh, I'm only 15 minutes. I'm like, and that's the majority of the way people are. So I feel like it's unreasonable for me to ask people to be this way because that is what I require. And people cannot meet me where I require things. So I just take myself out of the scenario and leave you guys with the people who meet you where you're at. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I do think it's something wrong with me asking you to change who you are and what you like and what you want to fit me. Right? I really hope that makes sense. The rice water sign to I need someone to look at my hair. Yeah, so book a one-on-one consultation. Now, if you book a one-on-one consultation, it's a virtual chat. So we can do that. That's why I'm live today, because I've been doing one-on-one consultations all day. And I'm filming through the weekend, and the next video that we get posted is coming on Monday. So that's why I was like, let me come on here today and talk to y'all because the next video I post isn't until Monday. Sugar. Sim sugar. Simmer. Well, yeah, we can do a one-on-one all day, but I love y'all. And my website is scrolling under the bottom. So go to my website and then go to the tab that says books in on my website and then follow the promptings. Oh, and in the description box, it's a direct link So where you can book a one-on-one with me. But my one-on-ones are not free. So the way that it's gonna work, you're gonna request an appointment. The days that you see when you request an appointment are not my normal schedule. So you're gonna request an appointment, then you're gonna get an email back from me. I'm gonna tell you what day and what time I have available, and then I'll send you the invoice. Once you pay the invoice, then the appointment is confirmed. The second you pay, it'll confirm it and send you out the link for our one-on-one consultation. That's how it works. But y'all, because a lot of people be like, I want to book a one-on-one, and then they book it and like, I gotta pay for it. Yes, guys, I don't. Okay, so link in the description box. My mama is listen. Yeah, I love you, love. But I got you for one-on-ones, but there's nothing that anybody can say to make me do here. Okay, I love you. I will help you in a one-on-one, but I'm not pressing and curling and twirling around brush no days. I'm sorry, that was too much. Mama, no, no, guys, love y'all. No, I love this movement and I want to be here for it because I wouldn't have even. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I feel like people gonna get offended by this, but if women can find their divinity in something else other than the way that they look, we won't have this problem. The reason why everybody, oh, because my hair curls, everybody's hair curls. There's only a certain group of women who don't have curly hair. Black women are not the only women with curly hair. We are not. And you are not less or more of a black woman if you have curly hair. And hair that is curly and absent of chemicals is not automatically healthier than relaxed hair. There are people with relaxers that have healthier, way healthier hair. When I was behind the chair, I didn't have any clients with damaged relaxed hair. All of the clients that I had with damaged hair were natural. Every last one. So, oh, you remember? Listen, oh my God. I love y'all, but no, like you trying to pressure me, girl, but it is not working. I'm from the D. Everybody trying to pressure everybody to do everything. I ain't had no kids till I got married, huh? I ain't do no drugs. I wasn't gang banging. I wasn't getting money riding on them things. I wasn't doing none of that. I can't be pressured into nothing, huh? I can sell salt to a slug. You can't stick a can of oil, girl. Just saying, girl, you can't trick me. I love you. Nice try though, sis. Nice try though, girl. But no, no. Yeah, I was raised by a real nigga. You feel me? Like I be like, mom. Like when y'all think I'm something, y'all hear my mama. I had to give my, if I would not have prepped my mama would have got me canceled today. If I would have let my mama say what she really wanted to say, I would get canceled. And I almost want to let her come and talk, and y'all gonna be like, oh, just let her talk. But I am so scared. Like my mama be wanting to when I be live sometimes, an older women be coming in here, my mama be wanting to like she be wanting to say stuff, but I don't let her because I'm not trying to have y'all like, oh, Cia's mom saying. If y'all want to hear her go off, if it's enough of y'all, I ask her to come back in and let y'all have it. But like y'all, ooh, oh, so you did use the butterfly soap? Oh my god, thank you. I love you. You have like everything in the apothecary, like everything. I love you too. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. And this is the thing. Nothing is where it's just so. I am a Cancer Sun and Moon and a Gemini rising, which in that Gemini part means that tomorrow I could feel a completely different. Well, it won't be tomorrow, but a couple of months from now or next year, I could feel a completely different way. So it's not necessarily where it's just on. I'm talking shit now, but I could possibly pop up in a couple of months like, guess what, motherfuckers? I'm going on a tour. And if you want to see me, click the goddamn link in the description box below. Yeah. Like it can happen. It's true. So don't take it as prayer book. But right now, as of today, all I can see right now, can I be honest? I'm 5 feet even. And I know I keep saying that I'm from Detroit. That's not meaning like, oh, it's scary or nothing like that. It's just, I just want you to understand like how my mind works and how for you to know that I was raised in a place where stuff goes from 0 to 100 in milliseconds. So I am trying to protect myself. I'm not trying to go to jail and have no big old woman named Diablo trying to take my virginity in the yard because no, like I'm not doing it. And like the arguing and going back and forth and how much is this? And do you I listen 20 seeing in her 20s could tolerate it. It's like I turned 30 and that part of me was like, oh, we went out to we done. We don't got no more patience left. What are we talking about? We don't have any of that. What do you mean? We're out. We are completely out. And I'm not having no big woman trying to take my virginity on the yard. Like, I'm just not doing it. I love you, but no, you're being guided where the Lord. Yes, like, but like, all jokes aside, seriously, like, I just don't feel my heart is not in here anymore. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like it kind of really broke my heart at first because I did love hair so much, which is why I was fighting so much. If you really pay attention to the beginning to my channel years ago, like I was like going back and forth to the industry to do hair. And I would literally, one time I literally got physically like sick and had to cancel the second day. Like I've never, I have never heard clear direction from my creator more than stop not doing hair anymore. Like I've never had clear direction. Never. You know what I mean? Like it's just something else. It's just different for me. I don't love it anymore. The love of the hair industry was literally murdered by the team natural community. Like I completely fell out of love with doing hair to the point that I started to hate my job. And that's why I stopped because I didn't want to hate my job. But the way that I do it now made me fall in love with the hair industry again. So I don't hate the industry no more from that perspective, but I still know that the love that I used to have for the industry is gone because the industry isn't the industry that I fell in love with. The hair industry is not the same hair industry that I wanted to be a part of when I was 20, when I was 19, 20 years old. It's not the same. It's a completely different place. And that's okay. I just don't, it's okay that I don't fit into a certain group anymore. That's all right. Like I'm okay with that. Girl, I'm a college student. I might have to wait a year. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. I'm not being rude. I'm not being rude. You like, please, protection. Oh, I'm a college student. I can't. That's what I mean. I'm not being rude, but I'm not for like I'm I'm for women at a different place in their life. I don't. I think I'm understand. I don't know. It's okay. It's listen. It's okay. It's okay. Like I don't and that's what I mean. Like I don't the reason I don't want you I don't want to make nobody feel like I don't that's not the energy that I'm living in. I'm not like, sis, your little broke ass. You better get your money out so you can afford me. No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not. I don't want you to put yourself in the pickle. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. But by the way, guys, I do have financing. So any service that I have, my one-on-ones, the 7-day challenge, any products that you want to buy, you add everything to the cart on my website, and then you go all the way to the checkout. Like right when you gonna put your card information in, but don't put your card information in. Scroll up, keep scrolling, but you need to see where you're supposed to put your card information in. So get to that point in checkout, scroll under, and then there's gonna be a button that says sizzle. Click that button and then you can finance it. So you can book, and people book one-on-one consultations with me through Sizzle all the time. To be honest, most people book their one-on-ones through Sizzle with me. And what Sizzle is, it's a financing platform. So you go on there and you follow the promptings on the screen. But again, you add whatever it is to the cart. So if it's a one-on-one, add that to the cart, go to checkout, go right to the point where you're gonna put the cart information in, scroll up to where it says Sizzle, click that button, and then it'll just follow the promptings. And what Sizzle does, Sizzle will let you break down the one-on-one consultation or whatever the amount is in the cart. It lets you break it down into 4 payments. So you could try that, but don't rush yourself. Thank you. I'm trying to say it the best way that I can because I'm not trying to be like rude or disrespectful. Ooh, I love you. You can do it. Uh-huh. I wish I had a good UK accent, but I don't. But but can we get into this dress though? Can we can we get into your dress and like where you was going, baby? And like, oh, what did they say when you showed up? I know they was like, damn, girl. Cause you distracted me. Like whenever I read your question, it's taking me a minute because I'm looking at your dress first. Like, damn, super, ooh, that dress is dressing. Oh, that dress is dressing with your fine ass, girl. Hey, beautiful. How are you? And my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moderator that is in here with us today, Kitty Cake, has been putting up all of the information for the 7-day hair growth challenge. If it's something that you do want to do, again, the 7-day hair growth challenge is something that you can finance through Sizzle. Same thing I told her, you can add Sizzle to, I mean, you can add the 7-day challenge to your cart and then follow the same promptings. Like I just said, when you go to put your card information in, scroll down to where it says I should be able to wear this bra strap. What do you mean, boo? So much bigger than hair, y'all. It's so much bigger than hair. Hair is the ultimate distraction. Just imagine, just imagine for a second, right? What black women, and I'm speaking on black women because black women are the ones in the team natural community. Imagine what black women could do if they stop focusing on their hair. Because look, if everybody learned how hair really grows, let's say everybody just start following the stuff that I'm saying, right? And nobody is focused on products no more. All that stuff is dead. Where is the focus going to be? We're going to have to put that energy into something else. And so imagine if we put the energy, black people put the energy, black women specifically, put the same energy that they put into the team natural community and making all of these brands billions of dollars into building our own shit. But guess what? None of our mind power goes to it. None of it, because all we focus on is hair. This is why it's deeper than hair. I'm here breaking up foundation so we can stop talking about this shit. Because this time next year, we're not even going to be talking about this no more. What y'all are about to see during the year of 2024 is YouTubers making up shit in ways that you've never seen them make up stuff before in their lives. Because they have to. You have to. Now you can only do commenting. But then that's going to get old soon because you can only submerge yourself in other people's chaos for so long before you lose your mind. Just saying. Yeah, that's a no. Yeah, when you get ready, get ready, book a one-on-one. I got you. Oh, I'm gonna check my Insta. I'm gonna check it, boo. You want floral and hair? You got it. You can get it if you want it. No, you will have to see. I'm following you for years. That's true. That is a really good. I love you. That's why you a moderator, Trina. I made you a moderator. Right? That's why you a moderator because that's actually a really good idea. But the only thing is, I would just need to figure out how I could prove that they've been following me for years. Because anybody could say that. I'm scared of the new generation that don't want to listen unless it's easy. Okay, don't get offended when I say this, but the new generation is a manifestation of the older generation. I don't have the problems that I have with women is not the new generation, it's the older generation. The women who don't listen are the women who taught us to grease our scalp in the first place. I'm not being rude, let's just be real. If not the new generation is a manifestation of the generation before them. And that's like not with you, but that's like one of our main issues because it think about it. It happens generation after generation after generation. They be like, these damn kids, look at these kids. You raised these kids. My dad used to always say, you can tell a tree by its fruit. The children from this generation are the fruit of the generation before. So the kids that are around now, for example, they be talking shit about the kids in my generation. What you want to know? What I was listening to? I was listening to Lil Jon. Okay, like, like that's what 50 Cent, Ti, all of these, like they were the ones making the chaotic music, but now they're old as shit. And now when black men get old and when black women get old, they become holy and forget about all of the shit that they did. This generation is watching and only performing in the way that they learn. From the age of 0 to 7, we're being programmed. So this generation is only doing the stuff that the generation is programming them to do. Just like the rats in my generation are letting their kids listen to Zukiana. And so then when my generation of thoughts get old, they gonna go to church, they gonna get saved, they gonna be holy, and they gonna be judging their thoughty daughters that they raised to be thoughts. And I'm sorry for whoever feel away, but that's what's happening right now. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop. Because side chicks and thoughts are not new. A lot of y'all grandmas used to be side chicks. Like, don't get mad. I got a grandma on one side and a grandma on the other side. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing. It's not this generation. It's the generation before that won't take accountability for what the generation now has turned into because of them. My generation was listening. I'm the dope man, nigga. The dope man, nigga. What you mean? I know 50 Cent and T.I. whole CD by heart. Crime Mob. What are we talking about? The kids now that's raiding houses and doing all they doing is mimicking the music that the people that came before them made. I'm sorry. What are we talking about? Before Zukiana, there was Little Kim. Before Cardi B, there was Little Kim. Before Cardi B, there was Nicki Minaj. What are we talking about? And before them, it was an old lady. I remember, I can't remember. She was on, it's a video, you can watch it. And she was on stage and her song was like, let me touch it. Let me touch it. let me rub it. And she was walking around with her microphone, grabbing on men's stuff in the congregation, in the audience. All of them. Let me touch it. Open your legs. Let me touch it. But guess what? Those are the women that are now in the church holy judging everybody. That is our problem. It's not the kids. It is the parents that raised them. Period. And as a mother, I can say that. However my daughter turns out is because of me. Period. When I was a kid, I used to get in trouble all the time for my mouth because I always had something to say. I always had a rebuttal. And anything my mama said, I would be like, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Oh, I know, I know. And my daughter was not there when that happened, but guess what she does? Everything I say, she'd be like, I know. Oh, I know. I know. I already had that. I know. I walk super hard. My daughter walks like she's 400 pounds, just like I do. And she knows everything. And she's super smart. And her attitude is just like mine. My daughter is a direct manifestation of me right now. And if I was a thought, my daughter would be a pre-thought, but I wasn't, so she not. So the generation that came before, whatever generation you judge it, is your fault. What did you do when you were their age to make it so they wouldn't follow in your footsteps? Because the girls now not doing nothing different than the girls before them was doing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's not do that. Like one of my grandmothers was the grandmother whose husband kept cheating all the time. And the other one was the one that at first she was getting cheated on, but then once he left, she was the one that other women was whose husbands were sleeping with. So let's not act like the girls and the things that the children now are doing, they're just pulling out of their butts, because they are not. Let's not act like this generation is so much worse than the generations that came before, because it's not. Just like they redoing The Color Purple, talking about The Color Purple is something from our culture. No, it is not. The Color Purple is literally a movie that no child should have watched, that we were all watching as children, about a man who about a man who sexually assaults, who FAs his daughters, and then sells them and sends them off to be in another country. And then after he gets done FAing his daughters, he then gives his daughter to a man who is abusive to her, who cheats on her, who SAs her all the time. And that's a movie of our culture? And this is what we're talking about. This is what we're celebrating. This is what we're focusing on. Are we serious right now? The kids now are worse, where 50 years ago, this time, once your daughter hits her period, her father is selling her to another man, a grown-ass man. Stop playing with me. Like, we need to be accountable. The generations that came before us need to be accountable, and we need to be accountable today. We are not about to act like the world is getting to be such a horrific place and it used to be so much better. It was not. Are you freaking serious right now? Stop me when I'm lying. There was a point not even 100 years ago where when a little girl started her period, whether it was 10 or 11 years old, her father would trade her for a fucking goat. Stop me when I am lying. So we're not about to sit here and act like the world is just coming and turning into this sad and horrific place, because it is not. It's not. There are still some messed up parents, but it is no longer the norm to sell your daughter for food. But that used to be the norm. So how can we now sit here in 2023 and act like the world is just crumbling around us when we're no longer selling our daughters for food? Stop. Just like now today, y'all everything is coming to the surface. P. Diddy, R. Kelly, Ronald Isley, Michael Jackson. Bill Cosby. They about to start. It's the time of Aquarius. All uncovered, all things that were covered are coming to the surface. Let's stop. Let's stop pretending that the generations that before us were not complete and total chaos. They were. They were. Diddy, his generation is the fathers of the generation that is running a book now. So it is not these kids nowadays that are the problem. It is the people that raise these kids that are around nowadays that are not taking accountability. That's the problem. I'm sorry. And so that's why, for me at my age, I do the best that I can do at having us look in the mirror and being accountable to ourselves and being accountable to each other. Because I can't do nothing about the generations before me. But the ones in my generation, at least 1990 up, oh, y'all gonna be accountable for y'all stuff. We're not doing this. We are not about to do this. We're not. No, the generations before us were not innocent. They were not. The wars that are going on right now the wars that are going on right now is beef that was started fucking 50 years ago. And the generations right now are fighting wars that was started by our great grandparents. We don't even beef, we don't got no reason to beef with each other other than this is my land. I'm protecting my family. Listen, like, so it's so much deeper than hair for me. I know that it seems like all I'm pressed about is hair. No, that's not it. The reason that hair is what I'm focused on is because that is where the majority of my people's focus is. All of y'all are focused on hair. So if I can get y'all, if I can change your focus, when I change your focus off of hair, and when I get you to understand that doing your hair and growing hair is just as easy as brushing your teeth, y'all can now focus on the real problem. You can focus on the real problem now because your hair growth is not the issue. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. The devil has no power. That I don't know. It is humans. The devil is not making them go to war. Those are people fighting for God. Hey, let's no, this ain't got nothing to do with the devil. The two wars that are going on, they're doing that in the name of God. God, they're doing it for God. We know these are humans, human error, human beings. The devil don't have responsibility for nothing, because if the devil was responsible for everybody, we ain't even going there. No, this is human error. I feel you though. I'm on the northeast. And I tell you this. I love y'all. I love you. It's hard though to me why these girls were struggling so much here. At this point, I could help. I don't understand your question, Bill. Oh, thank you, Bill. I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but that's why I do what I do. So that's the source. I do. If anybody wanted to know, you know how everybody got a pet peeve? My pet peeve is older people that pretend that they didn't do shit when they was younger and judge everybody that they were supposed to teach not to do what they did. That's my problem. That's why I cannot wait for Freaknik to come out. Oh my God, I can't wait. It's scary what we create. Oh yeah. Keep telling my mom, see you get her here, but she won't listen. Let her keep doing it. Yep. And this is the thing. Everybody from the generation isn't without knowledge. There are so many older The woman that I learned not to grease the scalp from was older. She was an older woman. But just like the same way that I've been telling y'all not to grease y'all scalp and not to put rice water in y'all hair and not to use apple cider vinegar. Now today I'm not getting yelled at. This time 10 years ago, I would have been getting called all types of bitches and hoes in my life. The difference is, and the reason why I'm still around, I know when nobody that's talking in my life busts a grape in a fruit fight. When nobody burp a grape if their name was Welch's. So it doesn't bother me at all. But there are a lot of people that really can't take it. I can. I eat it. It's nothing. But there are a lot of people who won't take it. And the thing who can't take it. And the thing is, there have been older women. Please do not think that I'm saying that, oh, every older woman it was dumb. No, there were older women who think like I do, but guess what? Just like now, when I say it, how it's women who like it, you don't know, y'all ain't doing nothing new. Y'all think y'all something. Y'all are just carbon copies of your grandmothers and carbon copies of your mothers and your aunties. You're not doing anything new by arguing with me when, oh, bitch, you wrong. You're not doing anything new. You are just following in the footsteps of your grandma and them. But there is a generation of women like me who were preaching facts. They were. But just like people wasn't listening to me 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, nobody listened to them. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. Exactly. That's what I'm always triggered when people talk about the good old days. Y'all were trifling back then too. Y'all was trifling as hell. It annoys my soul. Like, oh, these kids nowadays, y'all were trifling as hell. Are you serious? I cannot wait until Freaknik comes out. Oh my God. Like, I can't wait. I know people don't want, I can't wait because it is going to force a certain generation of women to be accountable because there is a certain group of women and not the whole women from that generation because my mama don't fit into that group and neither do my aunties will tell you in a minute y'all sure did who gonna do something about it, but on the flip side on my father's side, oh no, Jesus threw it in the lake of forgetfulness and they don't remember. Girl, y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all better stop playing with me. My booty pink, my lower brown. Yep. You helping us as a people focus on self-love because we're made. Listen, that's what I'm saying. And listen, Sexy Red is trifling, but she's no different than the women who came before her. We mad that she talking about what color her booty hole is. Cardi B was just talking about how it was. And then before that, we had Lil Kim. Remember Little Kim? When I was in high school, Little Kim was getting gallons of cum pumped out of her stomach. Hello. She looked like one of the Muppets now. But when I was in high school, that's what was happening back then. Quit playing with me, dog. Like Zuki, all of them, they are following the models that were left for them. Who came before her? Who came before them? And then who came before them? And then who came before them? Thoughts have been around since the beginning of time. What are you talking about? And since the beginning of the time, thoughts get old and then forget that they were thoughts and then they judge all the new thoughts. Since forever. Side chicks have been around forever. Y'all just morph and reproduce. They do not die, they multiply. All skin folk are not kinfolk. We are in different categories. Oh my God, you got your Cosmo license? I'm so happy for you. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't need me out here. We got new pros out here in these streets. I'm so happy for you. That's exactly what's going on. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, man, and not all older women. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. Not like my mama was not one of those women. So I'm not talking about my mama. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. But y'all know that I'm like, come on, man. Some of y'all grandmas got 10 kids by 9 different men. But y'all just don't talk about it. Y'all better stop playing with me, dog. Thoughts did not just come out. A bunch of y'all grandmas senior thoughts. Most of the women that's in church with the big church hats all are senior thoughts. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care what none of y'all talking about. My daddy was an old nigga, so I have been around old people my whole life. My daddy was old. Like my oldest auntie and my grandma are the same age on my daddy's side. My oldest auntie and my grandmother on my mother's side are the same age. Do you understand? I have been around old holy church people my entire life. It was a war. And the devil was using lost souls to. I love you so much, but I'm not Christian. Everybody's mama are going to be. So listen, like listen. It's two girls that I went to high school with who mamas are on Freaknik. One of them mama is a pastor right now, and she in court trying to hurry up, and they fighting tooth and nail trying to make sure that it don't show up. And her mother is one of the women in the Freaknik video. It was 4 women in a car. They all had the doors open, and they were all butt naked. I'm gonna try to mince words as much as I can. They were all butt naked, sticking their butts out of the window, and men were lined up on both sides, and they were all coming, taking their turn, and they have it on video on Freaknik. And her mother is a pastor right now. And her mother is one of those fire and brimstone preachers that teach everybody that they the spirit of Jezebel and they go into jail. And right now, she is in court trying to stop Freaknik from coming out because when Freaknik comes out, they are going to see her bent over naked, letting man after man after man walk up to the side of the car and take their time. So I'm not here for none of these. Back in the day, y'all were just as trifling as they are now. And somebody needs to have accountability so we can teach the girls that are coming next not to do it. But the girls in this generation keep doing it, and it keeps happening because nobody has accountability. No one. Somebody has to be accountable, and then it'll stop. Preach, baby girl. I'm 56 years young and began doing my own hair at age 10. I caught hair for years because I refused to grease my scalp. Nickname was Farrah Fawcett, and no, they laughed at me. And I'm so thank you so much for sharing. And that's what I mean. Like all older women were not dumb. That's not what I'm saying. Like my mom wasn't dumb, but I am talking to some of the dumb ones because they're the ones who leave the comments and try to argue on my page. And if it's not the older ones, the ones that try to argue on my page were raised by the dumb ones. I'm sorry. Feel how you feel. My grandma had 7 kids by one, my granddad. And that's what I mean. That's not everybody. Like both of my grandmothers only had one baby daddy. So I'm not saying everybody. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. My grandma Edwards had 12 children by her husband. And I think she had a couple of miscarriages too, but 12 children made it. And then my other grandmother only had one baby father as well, my grandfather. And she had 6 kids by him. So I'm not saying that neither one of my grandmas had multiple baby daddies, but some of y'all grandmas did. So let's not act like everybody grandma was holy because they wasn't. Anyway, that's why all people know. Hmm. Betty Wright from Mother's Time. Her creator. Yes, yes, yes. You look up Betty Wright and look up Betty Wright, and then like stop playing with me. Or okay, remember New Jack City? I be stroking. That's what I be doing. I be stroking to the east, not stroking to the west, not stroking to the one that I love. Huh, I be stroking. Listen, that is the most PG part of that song. Go listen to the whole song. I be stroking. This is what I be doing. Go listen to that. Y'all can't say nothing about the Migos. If your kids in the room, get them out the room real quick because I'm about to sing the whisper song. When I was in high school, while everybody like, oh, these kids nowadays, shut up. Because when I was in high school, it was the Yin Yang Twins. Y'all don't remember that? The whisper song? Like, stop playing with me. Like, I'm talking, it was some old hoes walking around here. Cardi B, all of them, they got it from the hoes that came before them. And the hoes that came before them got it from them. Stop playing. Lord. I do believe in good and evil, but I don't believe that it's something on the outside of people that is making them do it. I believe that it's something like I believe that it can be influenced, right? But only if you open a door. At the end of the day, all of the accountability goes to you. Like you are a breathing, living manifestation of God in the flesh. Nothing can overpower you unless you open the door for it. So at the end of the day, all of the accountability is yours. Like if nothing is more powerful than God and God lives in you, then how can anything cause you or take dominion over you without you opening the door for it? Is what I'm saying. Mama was so embarrassed. I felt her discomfort and told her we could leave. She almost ran out. BB King, Betty Wright, and the Candy. Listen, listen. The number of subscribers you have proves, at least to me, how dumb everyone else is. See, you know what I'm talking about? Yep, and he's stroking. Huh. That's what I be doing. Y'all better stop. Like, so in moral of the story, I need everybody who watched this live. If you are ever a person if you are ever a person who finds yourself going back and forth with the team natural community, if you are ever a person who finds yourself like in arguments with people, I'm gonna play the clip one last time for y'all, just so y'all can see it. And watch this later, screen record it, and go ahead and show it to people because there is nothing to talk about. There is nothing to talk about. Yes, the Holy Spirit lives in us. Yes, there is. I don't believe that there is anything more powerful than me outside of me. I believe that I am created in the exact manifestation of God and God lives within me. I do not believe that I have to leave anywhere to get to access God or anything. I got it right here. Like I just don't believe in that. And I don't believe that anything outside of me that I don't open the door for can take dominion or control over me in any way, shape, or form. That makes no sense. If the creator of this universe and every other universe lives within me, how could anything outside of me be more powerful than me? It makes no sense. There is nothing more powerful than God, and God lives within me. So there is nothing more powerful than me outside of me. And if I need anything, I center and I go within myself and I talk to God and I pull it out. It's just as simple as that for me. But other people can feel other way. But I agree. We have free will, just like choosing to grease our scalp. I love you so much. I'm going to screenshot this later, and I'm. Oh, I love you. Oh, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. for your energy today. I'm gonna play this one more time, and I'll leave the links too for where I got some of these graphics from, so you can watch some of the videos yourself. But I just want to show you really quick. Okay. This is what happens when the sebaceous gland releases sebum, and this is what happens when the sebaceous gland is overproducing sebum. And make sure you rewind to the beginning of this video so you can learn a little bit more about why the follicle would overproduce sebum. But I do need you to visually see how sebum comes out of the scalp, and I do need you to see that there's no place really for extra oils and extra butters. The different bacteria that live on the scalp's follicles' favorite food is oil. All right, it feeds the bacteria. If you need another way to set your habits straight. If you need to find a way to make sure that your follicle is balanced so that the sebum production isn't becoming like overrun and overbalanced, then it is really, really beneficial for you to join my 7 day challenge. You can start with as something as low as like $20, if I'm not mistaken, because through Sizzle, and again, you have to add the challenge to the cart and go all the way to checkout right before you put your card information in, but don't put your card information in yet. Scroll to the bottom, click the button that says Sizzle, and it will take you to a page that will lead you to the financing portion, and you can break down whatever your ending balance is into 4 payments. Yesterday, somebody had an order that came out to be like $500. They did it all through Sizzle, right? They did everything through Sizzle. This right here is what you're watching is a sebaceous plug. That is sebum, but clogged sebum. So I'm showing you this so you can see it close. So you can see the sebum is a waxy substance. It's not an oil, right? It's a waxy substance. So you can see this waxy substance clogging and being pulled out, right? That is what sebum is. So I really, really, really want you guys to get into it and learn how you constantly having bacteria and things and oils and things like that on the scalp do lead to follicle disorders. And my 7 day challenge teaches you a very, very simplistic routine that allows the sebum to come out of the scalp naturally without getting blocked, and a really, really easy and simplistic way to make sure that the sebum just gets from your scalp to your ends. It's so simplistic. So if you have questions on like, oh, well, how do I do this? What exact patterns do I follow? That is what my 7 day challenge is from, is for. So any bumps and pimples that you have is coming from clogging the follicle. And all you do by putting oil and butter and grease on the scalp is cause more of that bacteria to be trapped in the follicle, and the follicles houses that bacteria, and that bacteria's favorite food is oil and grease and like mineral oil. So it gets bigger and bigger and bigger till it gets red, and then everything else happens. Make sure that you check out the beginning of the video where I go in depth and explain exactly what you're seeing. But I really do want you guys to put this mental picture in your mind so you understand what you're really doing to your hair. When you are adding oil, you see these little dots. All of those dots are bacteria, and all of their favorite food is oil. So when you put oil into the scalp, it may not be clogging it, but it's in there and it's feeding the bacteria. And the more the bacteria eats, the more it reproduces. It is a colonizing bacteria. Make sure that as soon as this video is over, you head over to the blog post and watch the video that I have in that blog post on folliculitis. Folliculitis breaks down the name of this bacteria. The blue dots, all these little dots that you're watching, that video breaks down the name of that bacteria, exactly what it is, and it explains the fact that it is a colonizing bacteria. It explains what all of those things are. So I really, really want you guys to understand that. It is really, really important that you keep a clean and clear scalp. Again, the sebaceous gland is producing a sebum. This sebum is a waxy substance, not an oil. All right. And it needs a clean passage through up through the hair shaft. And when you have dead skin on the scalp, it clogs the pores. So when you're shampooing the hair, you're not just removing dead skin, you are also removing bacteria. The little yellow dots that you see is the bacteria that causes folliculitis, and I explain it all in a video, right? But when you don't remove that bacteria, it causes inflammation that leads to like whiteheads and blackheads. And on the scalp, this happens under the skin. On the face, you can see the pimple like visually, like a whitehead. On the scalp, it happens under the skin. So these are things that I really want you to think about. This is an illustration of skin cell turnover, which I talk about all the time. Every 28 days, the skin cells die off and they fall off, making a way for this new layer of skin. You see this new layer of skin that's rising up? You making a way for that new layer of skin to come up. So now that you have this new layer of skin, the last thing you want to do is coat it with oil. Your only job with this new layer of skin is make sure that there is no bacteria buildup, no oil buildup, or anything. And you don't need apple cider vinegar to do that. You don't need anything but just get a regular shampoo. Just get a regular shampoo, use regular water. This is how sebum comes up through the follicle. Sebum comes up from the sebaceous gland, and your hair is covered in sebum when it comes up through the follicle. This is why it is so very important to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. This is why it is so very important to make sure that you're not playing around in your hair, that you're not playing around in hair products, and that you're not listening to people who do not know what they're talking about. Okay? This woman should have 1 million subs, but people would rather pay for lies than accept the truth for free. Go figure. It's okay though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I used to think that all the time. I'm like, if the world would be a better place, but it's okay. Like, I've accepted that already. Like, the lies feel better and they sound way better than the truth to most people, and that's okay. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you later, alligator. Yeah. My husband is being a child. Okay, bye, guys.